Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the first round of the BCSS Championship. That's the BSKIT Combined Sprint Series. Today we are racing around Monza, and to make it as exciting as possible, we have enlisted a total of 39 drivers on the same track. So, on that bombshell, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be, maybe even good night, if you decided not to sleep. Got an exciting race for you today. Done some qualifying, and if you were here 2 weeks ago, we had two classes back then. Some things have changed, and you will see some people currently in silver class, as it shows. That's the little grey ones on the left. The red ones are, of course, AM drivers, and then we have the white labeled drivers with the number on the left. Stands with a white background. Those are the pro drivers. Those are the fastest we have, the most consistent drivers we have, and who we expect to be up there. Currently doing practice, and as all the cars retreat into the pits, I don't think they have to yet. So Harry may be a little bit early there, but that is not a problem. We've got James standing still. We've still got Dominique Paquette currently on track. We've got a very large field then. We've got about 13 people in pro class for the championship. And then between the remaining 45, 46 drivers. No, minus however many are in pro again. Yeah, those are split about equally into AM and silver. So we've got a very nice and big grid. Hello, Eagles. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are enjoying it. Race hasn't kicked off yet. We are currently in practice. Drivers just practicing the pit entry, as we can see here, led by the Bentley with a Porsche immediately following behind. Some beautiful liveries to show off today. There's just too much to show off today. As I said, now we have 40 cars. Another car has joined. We have 40 cars, which I think is incredible. Yeah, I'm gonna try to cover those as well as I can. I am a man on my own today, so it's going to be tough, I think, to cover everything. I'll try to catch as much as I can. Of course, also responsible for the cameras and everything you see in front of you today. Not the only one in staff today. We've also got Dan. Dan is helping us out with stewarding. There is live stewarding. And I wish Dan a lot of luck. We will have, in just about 20-25 minutes, we will have a total of 40 GT3 cars barreling towards turn 1 at Monza. I really don't, like, honestly, I don't know how you can do that cleanly. I think there's certain races where 10 people can't even manage it. So if they manage to be completely clean, that it would be brilliant. But at this point, it's unlikely. 40 drivers. A very nice spread of silver class, pro class, AM class. I'm really happy to see this, genuinely. We've worked quite hard to get everything running in the way we want to. And today is the first day of the race. We've got a couple of teams as well. You may have noticed some cars have the same livery. Well, I have documented in the background just before the race. I do not have them in a list right now. And I think this might be the last car on track. Daniel Nikas, who now has to immediately return to pits, and if not, be hit with a qualifying ban that goes for everyone. I think Oscar is the last one, stopping the car as quickly as he can by spinning, turning to the pits with just a few seconds to spare. He's not in the pits yet, but he will be soon. I think he will need to retire. Got a couple of people joining. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's in the pits now. Very, very nice to see. So nobody gets hit with a qualifying ban, except maybe One driver who did not meet the qualifying demand that we have. Let's see if we have him today. He will be considered a silver class driver for today, but that is provisional. That's like just about every person, honestly. We'll see a lot of mixing, even at the front. For instance, we got Barnabas Eros, silver class driver. Should be the second best class, but he's also the second best driver. So maybe he's misplaced, but maybe it's practice and we shouldn't read into the times too much. But I'm bored, so I'm going to. Very good time from Barnabas, and Balan Gabe also doing very well there in P4 for now. Norbert Tamas, of course. Tamas, 2 weeks ago, he was in a big fight with Pavel for the win, and unfortunately lost it. Has qualified for Pro Class, so he will be able to take the fight to Pavel today again. Pavel only P8 in time right now. Of course, it is practice. It does not mean anything, but it's something to look at. Harry Spears, though, P1, and I think that's where we will be expecting him today at the end of the race. However, at the start of the race, I think he has said he will not be qualifying or will be starting from the back anyway, which will make this race extremely interesting. Keep an eye on Harry Spears. He will be fighting his way back up to the top of the grid, and yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll make it. Maybe he won't. Place your bets now. Got Diego, Mexican. What kind of car is that? I think he submitted this like right before the race, but I'm not sure what it looks like. A bit of blue and pink, so maybe we'll get a better look of it later. Don't need to forget P6. We got James Speedy P7. Of course, that does not mean anything yet. If you see any high placed silver class drivers, those are probably quali pace. Deck, of course, organizer, and I've skipped over Pavel. Pavel, of course, we cannot forget. He does have a car stuck in him. Hopefully he'll be able to remove that before the start of the race. Otherwise, I have a bit of an issue. Of course, Pavel, after winning last race, didn't count for any points, but it must have been a good boost for him, especially after the race prior to that. Unfortunately, lost the win, and maybe today he can convert that virtual win last time in a real win for points. Deck, of course, prime organizer. Our glorious leader, as we sometimes call him to embarrass him. He is, he's organized most of this. He's put together, and I want to emphasize it again, 40. That is a 4 and a 0. 40 cars, 40 GT3 cars and drivers on the grid right now. It's excellent to see that, and he's done an excellent job. Hopefully, he will do just as well in the race. He has to be very good at contact avoidance at the start, so might come out on top after turn 1. See how it goes. We've got Joris. One of my favorite liveries. It's now 2 cars in 1, so it doesn't have the full effect, but there's a very nice livery under there, I promise. We've got Zach, and then we've got Charlie, we've got Nipham, all well-known names. Nipham, of course, won in Pro Class last time, but didn't do so well in Quali. For now, he's in Silver Class, and see if he stays there. Andre Katz, a very nice livery. It's Greg sponsored. The coloring is not due to any current ongoing events. That's just Greg's. We've got Trevor. I want to scroll down a little bit. We've got 40 people. I'm not going through them all. But I want to highlight one person in particular. Is he joining today? Don't see him on the list. I might not be joining today. Steve Muckley has qualified very well, and apparently he's not even here today. Yeah, we don't have him today. Would have been very nice to watch how he's doing, but for the rest of the championship, definitely keep an eye on Steve Muckley. Expecting more from him than we used to. Qualified excellently in the top 10 for the series. Let's have a quick look at all the cars again. They're still in a driver's briefing. Having for about 5 minutes. What happens in driver's briefing is essentially our organizer Deck, as we have seen earlier. He tells everyone what the rules are, what you need to think about in this race. He will tell every driver that turn 1 will be difficult, even more difficult if you are in the back. And you basically gotta just make sure you don't die. Blue flags, he will explain blue flags. Blue flags in GT3 racing are not the same as Formula 1 racing. Your only experience with racing is Formula 1. Then you might think that whenever a driver is shown blue flag, whenever a backmarker is caught up by a faster car, that they have to pull aside. Not the case in GT3. The rule is you may not defend. And essentially, the difference is you can stay on your line. You can keep driving your line, keep driving your pace. When the faster driver behind you goes for a move, you have to let him go. But until then, you can just keep doing your lines. Some tracks, that is a big problem. In Monza, this will not be too big of a problem for the most part, because the straights are so long and it's easy to pull alongside with a better exit, or easier than some other tracks. Got some cars going out again. That means the driver's briefing has concluded. And we will shortly be jumping to the qualifying session, where drivers will have 20 minutes to set the fastest lap they can. Which will also be chaotic, because we have 40 cars that have to share a single temple of speed. Also for this race, expect a lot of slipstreaming, and keep an eye out for the specific cars we have. We have, for instance, the Porsche. Now, the Porsche is not well known for its top-end speed. Pavel is a big Porsche fanatic, but today for this series he's joining in the BMW M4. So it's a bit unfortunate, maybe, if you were hoping to see Pavel in the Porsche do what he does best. He is in a BMW M4. Gives him a bit more top-end speed, so that's good for him. The Porsche is a bit slower. And then we've got people like James Spivey, who is in a V12. If you want to hear what that sounds like, let me give you a quick listen. It's a beautiful car. It sounds beautiful anyway. It's a very loud car. It's a V12 naturally aspirated or something. I don't know what people call it. I'm not actually a car person. What it means is that the car goes very fast on the straight. That's all you need to remember. And the nice thing about that is that you are currently situated in Italy, in Monza. And speed is basically everything. A fast car can... fast car in a straight line can genuinely just get you wins. Get ahead, and maybe nobody can overtake you. Unless you have a very poor exit somewhere, then it will be possible. That's all they have to think about. Porsche has it difficult, will likely not have an easy time overtaking at all. Trying to find a Porsche on track. We've got Yannick Breda here on the Porsche. Trying to find the slipstream of the Mercedes here in practice. Looking to move on the inside, possibly. You can see you will have to do it on the braking, but it's so difficult to do that when your top end speed just isn't there. So we'll see how the Porsches cope. I hope for at least one well finishing Porsche. We do only have 3 on the grid for 4-5 on the grid for today. A couple more than I thought. So yeah, hopefully one of them puts in a really good result and proves me wrong. It's one of those moments. You do see, as this battle has unfolded here, as a bit of a practice battle, Mercedes does make a mistake, and that's how the Porsche will be able to make most of their moves today. A bit of a slide there. You lose a lot of speed there, but in between the less modes, you're basically safe, unless you make a really big error. But it does mean you are vulnerable for this straight. Overtake is possible here, but it's very difficult because Ascari is essentially a one-line corner. And unless you back out, it's going to be a crash. Yeah, just lets him go. And we'll see this a lot in the race as well. A lot of drivers just taking a look, but not committing. There are too many cars around. If you risk it too quickly, you might cause a massive crash, because there will likely be cars ahead of you, behind you, and yeah, it will cause massive problems if you do make a big mistake. Simultaneously, if you are 20th and you want to finish 10th, you have 10 cars to overtake, so you might not want to wait too long. We will see how things go, but all that does show that this race will not be over by the end of lap 1. This one will go all the way until the end. I'm pretty sure we'll have fights for the lead. Maybe not for the lead, but for a lot of places until the end. And we have 3 classes to worry about. 40 drivers split into 3 classes. That will be something very interesting to watch. Now, the first car out, actually a bit behind the lead pack, so let's have a look. Got Harry Spears here. Now, he's the fastest driver that we have normally. He's in the pink whip. It is indeed pink, but it is also a car, so I'm not sure what he's doing with that name. He's closely tailed by one of the, I believe that might be Pavel, or his teammate. That is their car. Harry, we'll quickly have a look at Harry does. So we can have a look at this track, Monza in particular. It's quite a unique track. Most tracks are not this straight line heavy. So we might see entirely different drivers rise up to the top. Track conditions today will be cold. 10 degrees Celsius is not a lot. It is cloudy. As such, there's not much grip. Track conditions are currently fast, which is better than we had in practice. Yeah, we'll have to see. So here we go then. Harry on the last corner. This is where your lap really starts, not from the finish line. You want a really good exit on the straight. Maximize the distance. That's why it's all the way on the outside, to maximize the distance to the finish line. And from here, you try to shorten the distance as much as possible, which is just a straight line here. We've got a driver on the right. I do have to let him go. Harry brakes as late as he can. Now, hit that apex, maybe missed a little bit there, but as a banker, that is very, very nice. Try to optimize the exit, going all the way onto the curbs. The Curva Grande is basically a straight. You just hang around the inside. Come out of it, not even towards, well, towards the middle, but not even in the middle. Brake as far right as you can go. Don't quite touch the curbs, because they are a bit far out of the way. And here, try to take as much of the exit curb and as much speed through the second corner as you can in that chicane. That's one. Hang around the inside. You can take a lot of exit curb there. That is, I believe, still legal. And then Lesmos 2, same thing. As much exit curb as you can get away with. This lap is still legal. So, Harry taking as much out of the car as he can. And then Ascari, let's hop on board for that one. On the bonnet, you brake about 100. Compromise the first corner a little bit, but they try to slingshot through the rest of it as flat out as you can. You can go quite wide on there. It's still a legal lap. Harry knows what he is doing. And then you want to line up to the left side for Parabolica. Brake after the 100 board. Carry as much speed through here as you can, but do hit the apex. You need to make the radius as big as possible. And then just flat out, try to scrub as little as possible. And Harry goes on top with a 147.6. Pavel immediately behind, a second behind. We do have Norbert slotting in between them. Norbert with the 4/10 gap then. We've got a couple of silver class drivers all in a row trying to finish the lap. There's quite a couple of invalidated laps that we are getting. So, unfortunately, not everyone was successful in the first campaign. I think actually that's not as bad. Quite a couple of people do have a maybe a bit of a scruffy lap. See some people quite far off the pace, but that is an driver, so that is maybe completely fine. We have Dan Brown making a mistake into the first chicane. Just goes straight, takes the exit, and as you might see on the mini map, if we go to Helicam, there are so many cars. This will be a big issue. Some drivers may be completely out of place after this session, simply due to the ridiculous amount of cars that are currently on track. We decided not to split qualifying, and we'll see how that goes today, but it definitely adds a bit of challenge, and Harry Spears, as a result of going out first, has had a little bit of an advantage. Let's see who's on quite a decent lap. We've got James Pibby here on a decent improvement. Is about half a tenth up from where, or half a second from where he was. But Ascari lost quite a lot through the middle of it, but he has got a better exit, crucially. So he's actually gaining time through Ascari. Then going to Parabolica. Turn right, take as much speed as you can. Maybe leaves a little bit of space, slides a little bit. This is, I don't think it's the optimal line, but it is faster than he has gone before, and it will put him up a couple of places. Let's see where he ends up. P7, that is P3 in class. P3 in the silver class for James Pibby right now. Let's see, a couple of... Currently, we have 28 drivers with a time. One of them is 10 seconds off, so that's not a representative time. We do have Steve Muckley today. Hello, Steve. Might have missed him earlier, but he is indeed here today. Number 42 car. Well, keep an eye out on Steve. He has improved a lot since I think BCSS 2, and he is currently in pro class, qualified in the top 10. So keep an eye out on how he performs today and in the rest of the series. Currently qualified last out of everyone that set a somewhat representative time, not 10 seconds off. But this is not his pace. I can guarantee that, and he will be improving this in a moment. So let's have a quick look at him. A beautiful, what's golf liveried McLaren. And, very nice to see for sure. The baby blue tint definitely pops a little bit compared to the rest of the grid. Someone in the chat saying they are excited for the start. Might not be able to make the end of the race. Of course, the end of the race will be at least as exciting, judging by the number of cars. But the start is going to be incredible, especially if they make it without any issues. Let's have a look at Ascari on board then with Steve. Sliding out a little bit. Not quite hitting the apex the way I want. He has to lift up again, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Definitely a lot of time to win there, but it's about equal with what he said earlier. So it's not going to harm him too much. But we'll show yours in a minute. He does have a brilliant car, and I do want to show it off. If you want to see what Steve is doing. Takes a nice apex through Parabolica. A very nice exit here then. And he improves, not as much as he wanted to, I'm sure. But he's P30 right now. Still a lot to gain, I think. Let's have a look if we can see Joris. Joris does have a brilliant car. PAF Racing, PAF Motorsports, excuse me. Got this nice, these nice little squares here on the car. It's like the car is wearing a kilt, but it's all of it. It's a very nice looking Porsche. He's currently trying to set his first valid lap. It's just him and Skill Issue Racing. Both drivers of that team have not yet set a lap time. That is Andre Katz and Ryan Curtis. They may feel free to feel called out, because that is exactly what they are. As Joris finishes his lap, going through the exit of Parabolica. Still so many cars on track, but I think he's found a decent gap. P16 for now, though. Not quite where he wanted to be, I'm sure. I think that's one of the disadvantages of going out a little bit too late, because there are so many cars on track. You have to find a gap somewhere, and maybe this was not ideal for him. Harry is still on top then. We've got Norbert Thomas behind and Pavel Dominiak as Diego improves with his very interesting looking car, I think. Improves the P4. So very nice time from him. And then we've got a whole list of silver class runners and even an AM driver in there that just got a lap time in at the most ideal time when the track wasn't so stuffed. We've got Barnabas here in P5 then, currently leader of silver class. And we've got Josef Carabellios, leader of AM class in P6. Maybe a little bit elevated because of the time when he went out and set his lap time, but very nice job from him. Track might also suit him, let's not forget. The large pack of silver drivers is in the middle here that really just went out at the right time. And you have people like Charlie Kent, who we know can improve a lot, probably be up there with the pros, but not having had set the time yet, and this one does not look to be as much of an improvement. We do have Joris again for an improvement. It's only 2/10, crucially. That will put him somewhere in the middle of the silver class pack, but it's not quite what he wanted, I'm sure. Maybe they're experiencing the issue of too many cars on track and not being able to find a gap, but nevertheless he moves up to P11. Andre Katz moves up to whatever position that is, P8. Very nice job from him. But again, it's quite far off, I think, from where they want to be. Regardless, it's a lot better than where it was. Andre Katz then Skill Issue Racing, one of the two cars. And his teammate, I'm trying to look for him, Ryan Curtis, a silver class driver, currently P28. Yeah, some drivers will be in teams. We've got Andre Katz here in Skill Issue Racing, who's of course teamed up with Ryan Curtis, and the teams will work a little bit differently than in previous installations of BCSS. There's a quick explanation of that. We've got 2 drivers in a team most of the time. Some teams will have 1 driver. And we've got 3 classes of teams. It used to be Pro, Am, and Pro-Am. Now we've got Pro teams, Silver teams, Am teams. And the way we determine where a team is we simply look at the drivers, see what class they are in. And we assign a score to each driver based on what class they are in. Pro class driver counts for 3 points, Silver class for 2, and Am for 1. And we add up the points for each driver, and if you have 6 or 5 points after that process, you are a Pro team. If you have 4 or 3, then you are a Silver team. If you have 2 or 1, you are an Am team. It's that simple. We've got quite equal splits between teams through that method, which I think is quite interesting. I expected it to be a lot more silver heavy than it is, but we've got a nice split. As I was talking there, not much has happened except that Mixlav Trev has moved up to P7. I think that's very noteworthy. We've got Nipam, of course, winner of last season's BCSS. Beautiful livery, VRM racing car. Last time around it was a Lexus in which he won his championship. This time he switched to an Aston Martin. And, well, this time only in P10. It's definitely slowed him down, the change of car, but I believe this sounds a lot like a V12. It is a V12. I will explain it. And as a result, it's going to be fast. On a straight line, which is most of Monza, is going to be fast. Very rapid. I expect a lot from him. I never want to draw attention to the bottom of the pack too much, but we do have a couple of drivers here. Philip, Steve, and Dominique. Having qualified in pro class, but all three of them currently struggling to get a lap time in. Steve currently ahead of quite a pack. He's going to improve by a couple of tenths, but is not going to be enough to get him where he wants to be. In fact, I don't think he's going to get full improvement through to Parabolica. But Dominique already after turn 1, 3 tenths up on a time. Let's have a quick look at this Bentley go around then. It's got 5 minutes left in this session. Plenty of time for people to drive out of the pits and set a lap time in normal conditions. But with the amount of cars, you can see here, if we jump on the bonnet, there's already a couple of cars ahead. If those cars are slower than you, then you will lose lap time. I don't care how good you are at passing, you will lose lap time, even by passing them. Even as smooth as possible. Dominique currently, though, up 8 tenths, and hopefully for her, the driver ahead will realize that she's faster. Unless they're faster than themselves. It's the number 91 car, I believe it is. That's Charlie Kent. Charlie Kent's also really fast, though, so I don't think that will be a problem. The 444 car might hold both of them up. Regardless, you have a very good improvement here. A 1.3 seconds improvement so far. Now that would just half the gap to the leader of the pack in what's his name, Harry Spears. So if this lap can be finished at this pace, then we're looking at a very big jump. It's going to be even faster then. Let's see where Dominique ends up. The Mass Sim green car. There are 3 Mass Sim teams. And this green car goes up to P8. That's a substantial improvement over the previous time set by Dominique. And as a result, up there with the pros in top 8. So very, very nice job. They've got Charlie Kent, who I believe also was trying to set a lap time. But not quite fast enough yet. Struggling. Stuck in P14. Quite a lot to find there then. If we have a quick look around. You do have to excuse me. There's like 40 cars. I can't keep track of them all. But we do see Fraser Dickey in AM class. Currently 38th. On a decent improvement. Let's see if we can hold on to that. We've got Bobnar here. P26, number 47 McLaren. About to finish the lap with a decent improvement. Let's see how much that jumps him up a lot. Because we have a decent pack in the middle that are all very, very close to each other. There's mysteriously a big gap between Saristo and Lars Janssen. Not anymore. It's now between Janssen and Vavier. But yeah, we've got a very tight pack. And as a result, big jump for Matic Bobnar. Putting himself in P18. Very, very impressive. So many cars to look at. Let's see who's on a big improvement. We've got Joris. Joris, we also expect quite a lot from, but he's only in P15, much like Charlie Kent. Not what he wanted so far, but he is on an improvement. 5 tenths currently. Lost a little bit through Lesmos 1, though. Maybe he can compensate for Lesmos 2. Very clean line, it seems, but it's not as fast as his previous best. Only 4 tenths up. I say only 4 tenths. That does put you like P8, P7? Right around there. So, yeah, we'll see where he ends up. And so far, at least, a much better lap than his previous. Has lost a little bit of time since I said that. But there is still 1 corner left to go. The rest are straight, so they can't do too much. The track is now optimum, so we'll see times improve a lot. Provided there are gaps to set those times. Charlie Kent also now improving, so we'll switch to him as soon as Joris crosses the line. Really, slowing down a little bit through Parabolica compared to his personal best previously. Does put him into P16, not where he wanted to be, but it is an improvement nevertheless. Charlie Kent then, number 91 car, 3 tenths faster than his previous. That's already before Lesmos 1, but he has lost a little bit through the Lesmos team. But Lesmos 2, very, very, very good exit compared to his best. Ooh, then my game appears to have frozen. No, okay, we're back. This will happen from time to time, I am confident. This is simply because we have 40 cars on the track. I can't do much about it. I do not wish to kick anyone. Also because somebody joins. We now have 41 cars on the track. Joe Grace, welcome to the track. You have made the stream freeze. You are paying for a bottle of beer. And yeah, Charlie Kent currently 5/10 up. Despite the freeze. And very, very nice apex there. Parabolic. Still has time for another lap after that, but 6/10 improvement, that has to put him up there. And he moves up to P7. Excellent job from Charlie then. P7 currently still behind an AM driver and a silver class driver. Of course, these classes are a bit fluid. Occasionally they can change if we deem that reasonable. But that's already very good, and I believe, was that Pavel just improving? Got a couple of improvements. We've got, we've got Eros up here. We've got Nipam Shah. Also, P6. I think that's the one I saw changing there. And the session is now over, so the lap times set now will be final. Let's see if anybody's on a big improvement. We've got Diego here, actually, challenging for P3. Maybe even P2. Currently up 2/10 and quite a lot of space ahead of him, crucially. So it is very possible that Diego will be moving up the grid, maybe even to the front row. That's what he, of course, really will want. Wide there, but it doesn't lose him too much. Crucially, I think he's actually slightly faster, marginally faster than his previous best out of Lesmos 2. So into Ascari then, very crucial to get it right. Nice hit of the apex. Seems stable, a little bit too much curb maybe there, but it keeps the car under control. That is very wide though, but it's still legal. Doesn't lose any time, doesn't gain any time there, but he is so close. It's set to be a P2 if he can nail Parabolica. Maybe even P1. Although Harry is behind him, but not on a big improvement. Still an improvement nonetheless. So Diego through Parabolica then. Is it better? No, it's not quite better than his best, but it matches it. And that, I think, will be enough for Diego Fimbres Casas to secure P2 in qualifying. And that is the end of qualifying. So, I promised myself I would do a full grid rundown. We have 41 cars, so I'm going to take a quick sip of my drink before I do that. Excellent job to Harry Spears. Taking pole position then. The pink Mercedes. Not a euphemism for a racing point. Pink Mercedes is in P1. Fastest in every single sector. Harry Spears showing us why we call him an alien. But closely followed by Diego. Diego only 2.5 tenths behind Harry Spears. Excellent job from him securing P2 there. Got Norbert Tamas then, number 17 car. We've got him sat in P3. Barnabas Eros in the 444 car. P4. We've got Pavel Dominiak in P5. Nipam Shah in P6. Josef Karabelios in P7. We've got Balint Gabe in P8. Charlie Kent is set in P9, followed by Andre Katz, who rounds off the top 10. We've got Dominic Fiquette in P11. In P12, we've got Trevor McSlove. We've got David Brown in P13. We've got Hibana Banana in 14th. Daniel Nyakas in P15. Sami Kel in P16. 17th is Wojta Pavlicek. Joris Peters Weem in P18. We've got James Spibby in 19th. We've got Niels Johnson in P20. And Matic Bobnar in P21. We're only off the first half of the grid. We've got Robert Webert, P22, then followed by Sasha Kleinen, Yannick Breda, and Dan Kingswell in 25th. Zach Summerall is sacked in P26, followed by Dick Bowler, who may be disappointed by that performance, but Nevertheless, he's good in start, so we'll see how much he can improve from that position. Oscar Saristo follows him closely in P28. We've got Lars Janssen in P29, Philip de Zayat in P30, Michael Favir in P31. 32, we've got Philip Piaccetta. We've got Bogdan Rusu in P33. Steve Muckley only managed 34th for now. Pavel Opletal in P35. 36th is Johannes Kaun. 37th is Fraser Dickey. 38th is Jake Gatsby Hart. Max Weber is in 39th. And Joe Grace actually rounds off the grid because we lost one car. So that is everyone then. So for this race, we do have a mandatory pit stop. Single mandatory pit stop for everyone. They have to change tires in that stop. On the left, let me actually quickly fix the HUD. On the left, you can see all the cars with their the numbers, the brand, the names, and next to the number is another number. That's the number 1 for everyone right now. That means there is one pit stop left to make. When the driver has served his mandatory stop, that will turn green, and he can continue the race. If he can continue the race and finish the race in that condition and not be disqualified. If a driver fails to serve the pit stop, they get disqualified at the end. If they serve the pit stop but do not change tires or in any other way, it's not valid. Drive-throughs don't count as well, and stop-goes also don't count. If that is the case, then that will number will stay 1, and the driver inside will have a very, very bad time. We've got 40 cars. We've got one man in the steward's booth who has to make like order out of chaos somehow. Dan, if you are listening, we're all with you, and we wish you all the best. And I want to see this from a wing standpoint. I think the cars just kind of keep going. I kind of want to see is from a front perspective, but I don't really have the perspective. But if we are looking from the back, if we look from Joe's great, no, now it's on the front. Okay, brilliant. But it's such a, like you can see, this car is much further back. There will, of course, be a rolling start. There will first be a bit of a parade lap, a formation lap, where drivers will try to warm up their brakes primarily, to warm up their tires, and just make sure everything is correct for the start. Starting procedure will be, they start in single file going around the track. At some point, they will be called in, or called to start going double file, because there's 40 cars. That will mean the driver in the back has to move forward a lot. So we'll see a lot of cars moving through each other. There are no collisions on the formation lap. Once every car is in their position, after a little while, as we get up to the line, the gap that the position that they need to maintain will disappear, essentially. So from that point, they're on their own in terms of position. Then they need to maintain a certain speed, 70 kilometers an hour. And once the lights go green, they slam the throttle pedal and go. Try to get through turn 1 as safely as possible. And it's not going to be easy, for sure. Have a quick look at Harry Spears then. Leader of the race from the start. And Pavel Dominiak and P5, who won the last race. Harry already off, so we are starting the formation lap, and everybody is starting to move out. I think the engines out are a little bit bugged, but they are back now. You can hear the buzzing of all the engines. And you can see how long that line... I'm pretty sure... Yeah, Joe Grace hasn't even left yet. This is how many cars there are. Harry Spears is currently... on the exit of turn 1, it's just letting them all go at the same time now, because it's so ridiculously far apart. We've got a number 42 cars currently sat in the pits. That's Steve Muckley. Steve Muckley apparently missed the start. May have to start from the pits. Well, that is unfortunate. Somebody predicts a 9-car crash from the start. But as you can see on the track map, Basically, we currently have all of Curva Grande covered in dots. There are cars just about everywhere. Look, for instance, the Dan Kingswell car, the Kingswell Racing car, which livery is not was not submitted to me. I think maybe not in the proper way, so I do not have it. Is not being displayed as a result. Luxembourg also currently in a black car, so for the next race, if you would like to provide me the livery, maybe personally, that would be brilliant. They are in the middle of the pack, though. They will really have to watch their front and the mirrors at the same time. 2 eyes are not enough to perform well in this start, but they will all have to make do. We've got Pavel Dominiak, set in P5. Of course, he will want to pass Barnabas Eros ahead of him as quickly as he can. Or anyone, really. Currently, Barnabas is set in as the leader of Silver Class. Josef Carbel is currently leader in AM Class. I think these classes might be provisional at best, some of them. But Silver Class is right around the middle, what we expected. Got a couple of pro drivers. Fortunately, not as far up as they would have wanted, but a bit of a keep an eye out for this pro pack. I think Charlie, Andre, and Dominique will be very close to each other, and it's interesting to see what they will sort out. Will they move forwards or backwards, or stay about the same? And I don't think they will be battling each other too much at the start. It's all about working together at the start. You all do want to. I want to move to the back. Hang on, because I think they are about to get the call to go double file, and we see Joe Grace accelerate quite rapidly. Yeah, everybody's got the note to go double file, and Joe Grace, as we can see, probably going full throttle right now. The pack is coming together, and they will start to line up in double file. Joe currently the fastest car on track. And you see all the cars lining up. Good lord, there are a lot of cars lining up. Have you seen all of these cars lining up for the start? We'll have a look at Harry Spears with Diego right beside him. Diego ahead of him. Not quite the right position there for him. Hopefully he doesn't get a drive-through for that. All the cars now trying to maintain a constant speed, all in the right position. And the lights go green, and we've got Diego with a good start. No drive-through for him. Slightly better than the Mercedes of Harry, in fact. But the cars behind it, can't help but notice, I think they're catching up slightly. So we'll see how turn 1 goes then. Harry Spears later on the brakes, but Diego compensates a little bit, stays on the outside. Let's go to the middle of the pack here. Everything clean so far through turn 1. We've got nobody on the gravel or off the track yet. If we go a bit further back, maybe something's going on. No, everybody is going through cleanly. I think there's one yellow flag a little bit further back. But turn 1 and everybody survives. Well done, BSKIT. Well done. I am beyond proud of everyone. Ooh, as Harry misses the braking point and has to take... Oh, I think he might just let everyone go, really, and do his last to first challenge, as I spoke about before. I mentioned in passing earlier, and I think that's how he's going to do it. Let's let everyone pass. Maybe not Steve. Steve's quite far back. Norbert Tamas then currently in P2, Diego in P1, and Barnabas Eros following closely. Nepamsha has overtaken Pavel for P4. Pavel currently set in P5 and still. Balint Gabe currently P6. Charlie Kent P7, having the best start of the 3 pro drivers that was stuck back a little bit. We've got Andre Katten P9 following Josef Carbelios and Dominique Fouquet behind that, running off the top 10. We've got Balint Gabe... oh no, as we see, I think Nipam making a bit of a mistake there, going off track, and Pavel taking P4 right there and then. And Nipam already having to worry about Balint behind, but Balint already on the outside, already passed before Parabolica. Not entirely though, and misses his braking point, goes wide, and Nipam is right back through. In fact, Balint may have to watch out behind him. I believe that this Charlie Kent will want that position as well. Seeing him vulnerable there. We've got a train of 3 cars. We've got Balint, Charlie, and Josef very close to each other. Charlie catching up on the outside. Will he brake later? Will he make this move stick? There's a car ahead of him in Impam, and he, well, maybe not easy to get through, but he does. Through P2, gives him a little bit of a shove, but keeps it clean. Everyone on track. What a brilliant move by Charlie. Moves up to P6. Well done, Charlie. And in fact, Balint is struggling. Josef already on the back of him. Side by side going into Curva Grande, but he has the overspeed. Manages to defend the position for now. And hopefully it can calm down there a little bit. Because at the front, we had Diego, but Diego may have made a mistake. It was a second ahead. But now Norbert Tamas has taken the lead of the race with 1 hour and 27 minutes to go. So everything could change still. Balabat Arrows definitely having a brilliant start as well. Currently still sat in P3. Wow, a lot happening from the start then. Everybody's still very, very close together. We've got Andre Katz really side by side with Josef Carabellos. And Andre Katz actually overtaking him before Ascari even starts. Josef looking on the inside again. Probably not going to send it. Thinks about it, but kind of pushes Andre wide there, maybe giving him an advantage, but Andre, I think, has a better exit, so that's not going to work. Andre finishes the overtake, and I think we have Dan Brown, as I'm trying to catch him, going into the wall. That is a crash from Dan Brown going into the wall at the exit of Ascari chicane, and dropping all the way back, having to let all of those cars through, and with the damaged cars going to stop very, very soon, and hopefully for him, the damage will not be too much, but that is unfortunate from Dan. And don't want to stick with it too much, because Josef has already re-overtaken Andre. Everything happening left, right, and center here. Andre looking on the inside for turn 1, brakes later, pulls alongside and ahead before turn 1 even starts. Has maybe a slightly better, slightly worse exit here. Josef very close behind, maybe has to overspeed a little bit, looks to the inside, pulls alongside just enough to claim the inside for Curva Grande, and is faster here. What a brilliant bit of racing between these two. Josef Carabellos already back ahead of Andre Katz. Andre Katz looking on the inside for the second chicane, but thinks better of it, slots him behind. And there's still a whole race left to fight for that position. Brilliant racing between those two. We see a massive pack of cars here. That is between P15 and P22. Everybody between a tenth of or second of each other. And in fact, P14 to P22. There's a lot going on. We've got Harry Spears here, of course, letting everyone by in the second chicane at the start. Currently already back up to P22. And I think there's a yellow flag here. Void Pavlicek. I'm not sure. I think Cameron's trying to find him. Yeah, he's lost a lot of time there. And his car's going straight. There's Jake Gatsby Hart going straight. Lars Janssen going having a bit of an issue as well. Let's look at Helicam. Yeah, there we go. Going straight there. We've also got Joe Grace having, I think, a hardware fail. Because he's just standing still at the first chicane. Doesn't look like any damage there. So I think he's had a hardware failure. Meanwhile, Charlie Kent has passed Balint Gabay. Moved himself up to P6. Close battling going on here then. And we do have a yellow flag into turn 1. So they do... if they're smart, they're going to be a little bit more careful there. Although there's just a car off track. Does mean that if they make their braking zone, there is a chance for collision. And they have to be very, very careful. It's just so much close racing as Andre Katz loses 2 positions all at once due to Dominique and Trev staging an overtake successfully, each of them. Very well done for both of them. We've got Yannick overtaking Joris. Joris making a bit of a mistake there probably. And we've got a bit of battling in the lower silver class as well. Harry Spears meanwhile overtaken Michael Vavier, moved up to P26. Making strides in his quest there, but Andre trying to re-overtake Trev. He's already on the inside for the first Lesmos and finishes the overtake quite nicely. Trev left in the dust there a little bit, bit wide through Lesmos. You have no grip and you lose so much time. So well done from him. Dominique right ahead of Andre. Andre will want to keep fighting there. Lots of battles going on here. We've got Oscar here, right behind Sasha Kleinen, I believe it is. Sasha in an AM class, and Oscar not the same class, so I think Sasha will let him go to slot behind and have a clean run through Ascari and continue on with the race. I will extend my most sincere and well-meant compliments to literally everyone on track. There have been a couple of mistakes here and there, but there have been no major crashes between more than one car on their own. Essentially, I don't think we've seen any two cars collide. Maybe when David crashed, there was a bit of contact there, but we did not spot that. I think that's the biggest crash we have seen so far. At the exit of Lesmos 2, there were a couple of victims. And let me quickly check. Yeah, I think we have lost the car. Unfortunately, the car that was standing at the exit of turn 1, I think, may have left us. And we are currently down to 39 cars. If that's not enough for you, then look, we're trying. Balankabe very close then to Charlie Kent. They're not in the same class for now, but of course everything can change. So they do want to fight for these positions. Charlie, though, doing a hell of a job to defend that. Let's have a look at what else we've got then. So much going on. We've still got Andre fighting here. As you can see on the track map, all the cars are still within 1.5 sector of each other. So, well, actually within the sector roughly. So it's really great to see them all so close together. We've got the 27. Yeah, David Brown is now finally pulling into the pits last in the race. We'll have to repair his damage, and it's going to be awful for him. But on the other hand, we have a lot of fun. Niels Johnson already picking up a 5-second time penalty. That is a manual penalty delivered by the stewards. So was deemed at fault for a collision somewhere. I think if that's 5 seconds, then it's not too much. But yeah, overall very, very clean from everyone. We've got Bogdan Rusu here, challenging Michael Favier for a position. Very close behind that. Actually, I see Dan Brown has already served this stop, but has to serve a 30-second stop-go penalty speeding into the pit lane then. Lars Janssen also has already served this stop. May have to stop again, because I'm not sure if you can finish the whole race on a full tank. So it might not mean too much for them. But regardless, they don't have to stop if they don't need to. Bogdan Rusu then very close behind Michael. Catching up, in fact. It's going to look on the outside for now, but does not have room to move to the inside, as Piacciotta is also on his outside. Moving on his inside, in fact. Oh, but there's another car just coming in there from afar. That's Fraser Dickey. And Piacciotta moves up a position. A bunch of brilliant driving there. Piacciotta benefiting from a bit of battling there. Professionally, Bogdan having to defend now from Fraser Dickey. And we'll have to see where these two end up. Fraser Dickey on the inside. Bogdan leaving him extra space, trying to go for a switchback here probably. Get a bigger exit, but it's a bit wide on the gravel. And you lose all your speed, go home and try again later. Johannes Kauner here, who we see making a mistake, going too far on the gravel, losing even more time and having to concede 2 position to Webers. Both guys are called Weber, a surname, didn't make it up. Niels Johnson, a 50-second time penalty right now. Must have been involved in another incident somewhere. So, it's just unfortunate. We didn't quite catch that, so we can't really judge that. But I think we trust Dan with his judgment, of course. Mercifully, didn't have too many issues on the first lap to look at. But, of course, there will still be contacts reported by the software. Has to look at it. Dominic Fekete really catching up to Nipam here. Looking on the inside. Going to try to outbrake in that Bentley, who is significantly alongside and a little bit ahead. Oh, but Nipam turns in. And that is Dominic spinning out. That is a collision between those two cars. And I believe from our eagle-eyed perspective, we may see that Nipam did not leave the space. Dominic was indeed alongside. So we'll see what Dan has to say about that. I think we'll be expecting a penalty for that. Meanwhile, Josef Carabellios trying to attack Balint Gabe on the outside then, but not quite through there. Good defending from Balint. Josef is a class down, likely provisionally. if he's doing this well, maybe they should be pro. Ooh, but a little bit too much on the inside there, on the AstroTurf. It curves a little bit differently than the rest of the curbing. So that unsettles your car. And now Charlie Kent is all over him, on the inside, in fact, for Ascari. Ooh, but he leaves him just enough space, thinks better of it, and he lets Josef live, lets him go, and just continues the race. You do not want to collide, you lose a lot of time through that, as we saw between Dominique and Nipam. There's so much going on. Let's have a quick look at where Harry is. Harry has already made up half the field, currently in P19. And about to overtake Dominique then, who has lost a lot of time due to that collision on the inside then. And a very nice move from Harry. I think people are mostly letting him go because there's not really much of a point defending. Harry does have a 30-second gap to the leader. It's definitely lost time in the beginning of stages. But Norbert Tamas currently in the lead still, after having overtaken Diego in the early stages of the race. As we do have, I think Brilliant is successfully defending from USF. There's not much to look at. Norbert Tamas currently leading the race, also having the fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap for each class is 3 extra points. So that will be important for everyone to think about. Diego is currently 4 seconds behind. That is a decent gap. That is definitely something you have to make up. But that's not insurmountable, especially with pit stops later on in the race. You see Balint Gabe, Charlie Kent fighting for a position. Ooh, Charlie leaving just enough space, but Balint being pushed all the way onto the AstroTurf. As a result, having very little grip and having to settle for a slide. Charlie overtaking successfully in Josef Carabellos just ahead of that giant pack of cars. A couple of cars behind, we have Andre in there, we have Nipam in there, we have Nyakas in there, Trev. So it's a very nice competitive pack. And Carabellos just a second clear of Charlie, but a full 8 seconds behind Pavel Dominiak, who himself is in a little bit of a battle with Eros ahead. Ooh, oh, that's a really big slide from Balint there. I think he has to concede the position to Andre. Andre overtaking him on the spot, sliding like that, is not going to do you any favors. Andre, as a result, ahead, but diving immediately back into the slipstream, that Bentley. Immediately back alongside, and that those 8 cylinders in that Aston Martin are not enough to keep him behind, but they are still alongside. Inside for turn 2 for Andre. And that's just enough to hold on to that position. But Nipam is right there. And in fact, he's side by side with Balint right now. Quickly have a helicam, otherwise you can't see anything. Ooh, but there's not enough space for 3 cars. Unless there are. Ooh, but I don't think Andre saw it. And there's a big crash between all 3 cars. Nipam and Andre being the worst affected there. And Balint gets to continue. Shocked maybe a little bit about that, but so he misses the corner. But that was a big crash, and I think that's entirely due to Andre not realizing there were 3 cars next to each other. We do see the 2 Pfaff Racing cars there also into the grass. Everything's kicking off. It's lap, I don't know what, lap 8? Lap 9? So everything's kicking off right now. Oscar and Joris also next to the track. We had Andre and Nipam also off the track due to a bit of a collision, a bit of a misunderstanding of the situation from Andre. And unfortunately, causing a big crash there. We've got Trevor McSlav here with Nyakas, Gebe and Sami Kal still fighting for a position. The gap has shrunk a little bit, of course, after that crash. The cars dropping back. Nipam still causing a bit of a yellow flag. I'm not sure what's happening there. Let me see if I can find him. He's just going really slowly. I think his car is properly damaged after the collision. That was a really big hit. I'm really curious to see what Dan will say about that. He might decide it was a bit of a racing incident. It was a bit of a complicated situation. But yeah, I think that's entirely up to him, and the stewards are there to decide, and the broadcaster thankfully is not. Daniel Nyakas looking on the outside of Balint there. Not quite able to make a move. not quite able to pull alongside. Difficult to overtake around Monza. Sometimes I do see the 64 car. I think that is Jake Gatsby Hart. Having spun out there, and the number 13 car, I think, retiring from the race. Or is that Nipam? No, Nipam retired or returned to garage to get his damage repaired, I think. He decided that the damage was too much to deal with. To drive home with, specifically. Steve Muckley in the pits. We've got Robert Weber in the pits. There's a lot there going on. We've got Niakas right behind Balin. These are still fighting for position. These have not let up. Trev is behind that. Probably looking to benefit from any mistakes one of these make. Ford 9 car having a bit of excursion. No, that's Pavel! Oh my god, when you say the number, it doesn't feel as bad. But that is Pavel making a mistake at the exit of Ascari chicane and losing a bunch of positions. Currently sat in P6 there, and I think the car is damaged. Let's see if we can have a closer look. Godspeed Alice on the back of the car. Alice is his daughter, and he loves her very much. Car handling will not be loved very much if there was a big collision and does decide to pull into the pits to repair it immediately. The Niakas also causing had a bit of a collision, I think. It's been a bit of an yeah, the car seems to be slow. He's losing time and positions, hand over fist. It's Harry Spears with the fastest lap of the race currently. Sat in P10, benefiting a lot from the incidents that we have seen just, and still has lost time to the leader, crucially. 31 seconds behind now, which lost about 2 seconds. But, yeah, P10, very well done from him as James Spivey is overtaking Sammy Cal there through Curva Grande. Sammy Cal is faster though, looks on the outside. Can he pull alongside? No, James defends it. Oh, but maybe outdoes it a little bit. Doesn't have the best exit, I think, here. Sammy looks on the inside and is moderately alongside for the first Lesmos. Thinks better of it though. Doesn't think of a move there. And a little bit of space is left, but not enough. James Spivey gets to defend and keep that position for now. But excellent attack there by Sammy. As we have Niels Johnson, currently quite high up, I think. Considering his class, he is an AM-class driver, but he's currently in P15. Doing an excellent job, staying out of trouble. That's all you need to do sometimes. Behind Dan King as well. Then we've got, let's see, if we look at classes for a moment. Because we have had a look at a lot of battles, and as it happens, we'll keep an eye on this one. Currently, we've got Nova Tamas, of course, a lead of the race, also lead of Pro Class. Second in Pro Class, Diego from Biscasas, second overall. And we've got Charlie in P5 overall, but third in Pro Class. So, doing all right there. Then we've got Barnabas Eros in Silver Class. Number 444 Lamborghini. He's currently third overall lead of the class in Silver. Valent Gabe second in that class, and James Bibby currently in P3. And we've got Joseph Cargabellos in P4 for AMP class, that will be the lead. We have McSlav in P7 in the lead, in second place, and Yannick Breda in third place of the class so far. Yeah, excellent performance from a lot of drivers. As I do see the 448 car off track. That's Pierre Chota, who we saw making an excellent overtake earlier this race. Taking advantage of a bit of battle, but having a bit of trouble at the exit of a chicane there. Of the Ascari chicane specifically, not just any chicane. And yeah, it's very unfortunate. Loses a bunch of positions through that. I want to have a quick look. I'm seeing some more penalties being applied. Weber, specifically, having 10 seconds. Not sure what that is for. I quickly want to have a look if we can still find Andre Katz. Was involved in a collision earlier. I think he may have retired. That's unfortunate. May have had an internet disconnection, because that does tend to happen occasionally for him. We've got Harry Spears here making up positions hand over fist, currently in P10 behind Sam Mikkel and James Spivey, who are also fighting full position. Might be a bit more difficult for him to get past these, and he might lose a little bit of time. We'll have to see. I think Andrew Katz has unfortunately retired. teammate, I am not sure. I do currently not see Ryan Curtis on the track unless he's further up, as Harry makes up one of the two positions right there in front of him for the taking. A Samuel. Oh, but spins out at the exit of Ascari. Oh, maybe overcorrecting his slide or undercorrecting his slide. More likely. Small tap with the wall. I think he can keep going, but that's at a loss of a couple of positions. Bogdan Rusi there going past. Back to P24. Yeah, I think Ruling has retired. He is in Twitch chat, and I don't think he's able to do both. Ruling says they just bumped. Yeah, of course we'll let the stewards decide on that, but I'm not. From our perspective, it did look a little bit like a miscommunication, but that's why people do reviews of the race. What we see a lot of drivers do in general is just have a look at all the incidents that they remember from the race and just see, was I at fault? Could I have done something more? As Fraser Dickey here goes past Opletal. Very nice move there into turn 1. This, yeah, that's why we are able to go cleanly through turn 1 with 40 cars. People review their mistakes. People, after the race, they pull up the replay and just go through it together. They just say, hey, have a look at this. Even ask for other people's opinions sometimes, out of the blue. Not putting too much ego into their driving. And being tolerant of criticism. And some people get a lot more criticism than others. That's just the way it is. But as a result, we do have very, very clean racing around here. And still 36 cars as Johannes Kauner makes a mistake there. That is at the exit of Lesmos 1, and is currently sitting between Lesmos. I believe that is, yeah. Has to turn around somehow. Find a clean space off the racing line, so that's entirely fair. As his teammate also overtakes him. And I think that's also Robert Weber making a bit of a mistake here, causing another yellow flag. That is on the exit of Ascari again. That's a bit of a graveyard today. It's just the way it is. Nothing unusual there. Harry Spears, they're making up a lot of positions still. Currently behind Trev. We overtaken second in Ami. Still off the podium for Pro though. Still sat in P8, 30 seconds behind the leader. Slowly starting to catch up. His best lap is about 8 tenths faster than anyone else. Make of that what you will. Harry on an absolute tear. Keep an eye on him. He's got an hour to make up half a minute. We'll see if he is capable of doing that, and I wouldn't put it past him. The race has calmed down a bit, which means I can breathe. Very important. We do see Tiff Mclav having conceded the position to Harry. Has also lost a lot of time. He's currently actually not far ahead of this little battling pack. Oh, and we see a car off track there. That is Balint Cabay making a mistake. Oh, that is costly. That is second place in the silver class gone for him. Being demoted off the podium. Currently sat in P4 in the class. 11th overall. Maybe even P12 if Nyakas is able to pass. But not yet for him. If Balint has any damage though. He goes a little bit wide. So at least doesn't have the grip he wants to. And has to concede the position. Very unfortunate. So can happen so quickly. You're second in class one moment, suddenly you're fifth in class, and goes just to box. Nothing there for him to fight for. Ooh, that is a very late break. Ooh, has to abort turning just to get the better brake performance there. Sami Kell preventing disaster by losing a lot of time there. That's the kind of defensive measures that you want to see happen. We've got Spippy there very, very close to Trev. Looking on the outside for the second chicane, but it's not really enough. But it is a bit of a move for Shitback. Oh, but there is a bit of a Constantina effect. Trev maybe slowing down a little bit more than was expected by James. And as a result, James hits him and Sammy hits James in turn. So, yeah, a bit of a disaster for the three of them. All of them lose a little bit of time. I think Sammy got off that the best. Yeah, that is unique. That is like an accordion effect. Something sometimes you have on the road. You actually go outside. If you're one of those. So you see Deck. Oh, somebody's made a bit of a mistake there. Deck very close to Dan Kingswell and Niels Johnson. Niels Johnson having gone past Dan Kingswell just. Dan on the outside there of Niels. Niels keeping the inside and Deck right behind. Ooh, Deck having a bit of a scruffy exit there. Voista right behind him, ready to pounce on that beautiful colored car that Voita has. Oh, that is very late on the brake from Voita around the outside, but it's too late on the brakes. As a result, has to immediately reconsider position, but doesn't lose too much time. I think that's a very nice idea from Voita to try it like that. Got a lot of speed here though, and maybe that's the real move. Not for Parabolica, just for the overspeed here. Deck's trying to defend the inside then. Voita still faster, almost ahead, and now completely ahead. As Deck is very closely followed by Bob now, right behind. Kingswell leading this pack, but not comfortably. Sorry, Niels Johnson leading this pack, but not comfortably. And you can see just a gaggle of cars behind. Niels, of course, has a 15-second time penalty, so this is just provisional. But after pit stops, look, anything can happen after pit stops. We've got so many cars on track. People can get stuck in traffic left and right, completely unintentionally, and likely will. So we'll see what happens there. Do see Zach and Saristo pulling into the pits. Saristo's first name is, of course, Oscar. Remember that one for him. Not for him. I think he knows his first name. For myself, really. Quick look then. Voita very, very close behind Dan there. Not looking for a move into Ascari. A really good look at this car then. Very nicely colored rainbow. Looks even better in the wake of a car in a battle. And Kingswell very much under threat. Do choose a very conservative, not necessarily, but a very solid line there. But these cars are now within 3/10 of each other. And Voita benefiting here from a lot of slipstream. Somebody coming out of the pits, luckily not big nuisance for anyone. And Voita moving on the inside there, overtaking maybe both, but no, it's too late on the brakes. And he will cut this corner, but will have to concede those positions again, as he does. It goes on the power late, and actually that might lose him a lot more than it would have gained. Deck now on the inside of him, and successfully overtakes Voita. But is, as a result, a second behind Dan Kingswell and Niels Johnson ahead. Ooh, Dan looking on the inside there, but thinks better of it. No collisions there, no issues. So many cars, a little bit of dust being kicked up as we see one of the Faf Racing cars in the background. There's not Jorgis, that's his teammate. Who I do not know off the top of my head. Dominic also very, very close behind Skev. Let's have a quick look at those while Dick and Dan probably stay about the same distance from each other. This is still also a little bit of a pack. Yannick Breda at the lead of this. Currently P7, which I think is a lot better than he was ever expecting. He is an AM-class driver, and I can tell that for him it's definitely a case of slow but steady. Having a fastest lap of US Dominic decides to go opposite there of Nyakas, who goes into the pits, taking his stop right there. Dominic going opposite, deciding to keep going. We'll see people stopping now, because you can definitely do an hour around Monza on a full tank. So some people will decide to do that, especially if they have a little bit of damage or if the tires just aren't working very well right now. The temperature is extremely low. Those are difficult conditions. That's extremely low for racing, or if you're from countries like the Philippines. 11 degrees is not normal everywhere. But yeah, for racing, to be clear, for racing, such low temperatures do mean that the tires may not work as well all the time. And as a result, you will not have the full performance. Gaps have settled a little bit, but these four cars are still very close together. It's Niels, Dan, Dek, and Vojta in that order, all chasing each other. In fact, Vojta is extremely close to Dek and probably wants to do an overtake in a little moment. I think he has a better exit, in fact. Vojta very, very close in the slipstream then. We've seen him try and move here around the outside before, but now he's on the inside. Going to try to brake a little later, I think, and so he does. And I think he's got this. Dek doesn't have much to fight back with unless he can get a better exit here and have overspeed. But for now, we've got Vojta in the Honda in P14. Which is a brilliant overtake from him. Very, very well done. Dek has a little bit of overspeed as it stands due to the slipstream, but is simply too far away to make a move right now. Unless Vojta goes too early on the brakes. That does not happen. And then ahead of these, we have Dan Kingswell. Very close to Niels Johnson. Johnson has been in this position for quite a while. Again, one of those cases of slow and steady. I was going to say for Yannick, their lap times are no better than a 1:49. Actually, let me double check that. Yannick's fastest lap was a 1:48.6, so it's a little bit faster occasionally. But Niels is 1:49.5, just fastest. Still, Niels, P12 on a 40-car grid, that's brilliant. That's very well done. Bit of a penalty though, so it's provisional. But yeah, that's very, very nice for starters. It's starting to slow down a little bit, but as that does happen, we do see a lot of cars starting to pull into the pits. Really see Nyakas in P23. Remember that he was well into the top 10. So him being 22 is entirely provisional. Everybody, in fact, Niels being 12 is entirely provisional as well because all the stops that have happened ahead of him. Fraser Dickey, for instance, P23 currently has already made a stop. Vojta already catching up to this little pack. I think Dek has either dropped off. Now Dek's pulled into bits. It's fair enough. Decided to strategically solve his issues. Perhaps it will work out as Dan, Niels, and Vojta will continue with this battle. Niels still maintaining this position, this iron grip on this provisional P12. Was only one person in that position, and his name is Niels Johnson. That's a very good run from Vojta optically, but also Dan Kingswell. But he's struggling a little bit on the exit there of Lesmos too. On the inside. Very nicely on the inside, has a good run there, and I think he had to let him go. Dan Kingswell not being left a choice, and Vojta Pavlicek as a result takes a position, and the car behind I don't think is for position. Hard to say who it is. There's not for position. As a result, he might just be let go. We'll see. And of course, I think it's a teammate of Path Racing there, of Joris, I should say. It's not like one is the main driver and the other the teammate. It's always equal status with these lot. We all just love racing. We're not that competitive. I tell a lie. We've got Harry Spears here, P6, of course. After the start of the race, a clean turn 1, he decided to make this race a bit more challenging for himself. Pulled beside the track. Chicane number 2. And from the back has made his way all the way up to P6. Also setting the fastest lap of the race by about 2.5 tenths. It's what he does. Diego, currently 10 seconds behind Norbert Tamas. Bit of a worse stint compared to Norbert than for him, but he does have a decent pace going, I think. Not nearly as fast though as Norbert and Harry. Those two are in a league of their own. Only driver so far to set a 1:47 lap time. And to be honest, it's not close to the rest. Harry Spears, in fact, set a 1:47.2. Norbert Tamas a 1:47.5. It's at least 5 tenths faster than everyone else. That is a big gap. Those two are in a league of their own. Do you see Johannes Kano? Quite a bit of a yellow flag situation there. I'm not sure what happened there. BSKIT of Ascari maybe not treating him very well again. Do you see Joris quite close to Oscar? I think Oscar was the other Path Racing car that we saw. These two both have decent pace. I think Joris might be a little bit disappointed by his pace. 1:49.3 fast lap so far, but that might be part of the strategy. On the inside of Oscar, I think Oscar will let him go. These two cars very respectful to each other. And let's remember that they are still Porsches, not the fastest in the straight line. Quite maneuverable through corners. Fortunately for them, Monza has not so many corners compared to the length of the straights. Vojta, very, very close behind Niels. Dan has dropped off. May have made a little bit of a mistake. 1.8 seconds right now, the gap. 2 seconds, in fact. Changes quickly. Vojta very close behind Niels then. I have to find a way past. Not easy to do. Niels has shown himself to be a very good defender. Some call him the German Minister of Defense. Let's see how long he can hold on to that position. Or if he will pit, that's entirely possible. And when he does, he will have to serve his 15-second time penalty. I think about be delaying it just for that reason, having a bit of fun here. This is very good for your racecraft to drive like this. Make no mistakes when there's a car behind you like that, pushing as fast as they can. Well, a couple of people, I think, bullying me. I think Philip is offering to join us in commentary, and yeah, if you are listening, feel free to join us, join me specifically, and it would be nice to hear from you, for sure. the race has cooled down, we can definitely allow for a bit of relaxing. If you rewatch the stream later, the start absolutely insane. I don't think I was breathing. I don't know how I made it. I think we have Philip with us. No, we don't have Philip with us. Yes, I missed a couple of his message, and he is in right now. Hello, Philip, and welcome.
Hello, hello. That was a pretty poor race on my part, but at least I can keep you company in this commentary booth, if nothing else.
Yeah, let me know what happened there. There's a lot happening, and I think we may have completely missed it.
Unfortunately, I had a little contact with Pavel there, which was completely my fault. I just braked a little bit too late and spun him out, and then on the exit of Ascari, I clipped the curb a tiny bit too much, and just by a fraction couldn't catch the car, and the car was not drivable even back to pits. So, unfortunate end for this, but I never really had the pace that I wanted in the Porsche on this track, but yeah, it's racing.
That is unfortunate indeed. But we can relax a little bit now, I guess. Must have been a very chaotic race with so many cars on the track. How was that in qualifying for you?
It was chaos in qualifying. I got lucky regarding traffic. I didn't have much traffic in front of me, but I couldn't really put a good lap together. I didn't really repeat my pace from free practice. So I know a lot of people who complain a lot about traffic in qualifying and people overtaking each other. So it wasn't the cleanest qualifying session if I ever see one.
Of course, Monza having that famous, as we speak, by the way, Vojta making a very nice move around the outside into Ascari, overtaking Niels Johnson there, taking provisional P10, but they have both not pitted yet, so that will change.
I have seen that BMW, and that thing is a monster on the straight, an absolute monster.
Oh, I think we have somebody communicating with the void, let's say. I think we've lost full communication capabilities with Bob now, but I think it might be back. He was phasing through the walls a little bit. You know how it goes.
He is having a little bit of internet issues from time to time. It is getting a bit dangerous, maybe, and I don't know if Dan would like to point that out to him, but he's aware, and if it gets too dangerous, if Dan is listening, he could just tell him to, well, retire the car.
I think he's just providing entertainment for everyone. As Sammy Cal, who stands
That's my
still.
teammate.
Yeah, stands still, making a mistake on the entry of Ascari, maybe outbraking himself a little bit, and yeah, but no major errors, no major collisions. We're halfway through the race.
This Porsche is not very happy, I can tell you that. It is very sketchy through Ascari. It is both on the entry and on the exit. For me, at least, I'm not a seasoned Porsche driver. Oh, but we see here Harry Spears getting another position. Is that for P2? I mean, we kind of expected all this to happen, so can't be really surprised.
Yeah, that is full provisionally P2. These have both not pitted. In fact, Josef decides to go into the pits there.
And Fruba continues on his own pace, which is 148.6. That lap time. That's a 147.2 from Spears. That is out of
Rapid.
this world, out of this league. Yeah, that pink whip's just going strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the color pink, referring to the color you get when you get the fastest lap. Of course, that you observant among you may say that's purple.
I'd say that's purple.
That is correct. Maybe we should tell Furo.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard rumors that he has won about 5 or 6 pair of gloves already in the competitions he's in, so I am expecting there to be a prize for this competition, which Fruba donates the gloves to. But in any case, Fruba will probably win them anyway, so yeah, doesn't make much of a difference. But yeah, race continues, and Fruba marches onwards towards P1. How far is Tamas?
Tamas is 27 seconds ahead currently. Tamas currently still the leader of the race after overtaking Diego in the early stages. Has been steadily walking away. Diego has since pitted. It's currently the lead of everybody that has boxed thus far. And in fact, we will see Norbert Tamas boxing right now.
I think that's a safe entry, unlike the previous Enduro race, I believe, or the one before that, where Tamas got a penalty for entering the pit lane. I think it was fairly safe, and, well, better not get a drive-through on Monza. It's one of the harshest track to take this drive-through. Or
Yeah, definitely. It is a very harsh track. It's not as harsh as Spa, but there you go. Harry Smith also pulling into the pits. It's not as hard as Spa, but the pit lane literally lasts forever. You can have a coffee in that time.
It is about 2-minute loss or something, just driving through the pit lane on Spa. Probably, I think it's 2-minute loss with pitting and something like that. But here the problem is that every car is so fast, it just speeds by you on this long main straight while you're stationary. So the pit lane delta is pretty massive here. Did we have anybody else who's overperforming in this race?
Overperforming? Well, we've got a couple of AM drivers going very fast. Having good pace so far. Niels Johnson is currently sat in P6 but hasn't boxed yet. Bogdan Russo, I think, hasn't boxed yet either. But the next two drivers, Josef Carabellos, Josef, of course, outperforming quite a lot. And Yannick Breda, I think he's effectively P2 in AM. And doing a great job so far. He is 25 seconds behind Josef. There's a decent gap between those two. But they're doing really well, as we do see Bogdan pull into the pits.
I think Yannick's doing an absolutely fantastic job. I've been told by my teammate who was behind them that he was not able to catch Yannick at all, and Yannick was just speeding away from him. So fantastic pace from him, and possibly, I don't know, when these pit cycles go through, we'll see what he comes out. Oh, Caravellos is still ahead of him. Yeah, that could be the fight. Oh, and as well as... Mixlav is now in pits. That's Trevor in pit, I believe. So Yannick will be P2. Yeah, again.
Yep, there we go. Yannick takes P2, and the gap is quite big behind him and ahead of him, I think, after everything settles. But the 71 car still hasn't fully exited the pit lane, and in fact the 255 car will pull ahead. That means Yannick is for certain P2 in AM class. And the pit stops can't really change that anymore.
Well done, Yannick. I really hope he keeps this pace, because this is looking fantastic for him for the start of the season.
Absolutely. And if I have a quick look, I think that's every driver having stopped except for the first two.
Oh, that is Charlie Kent. In fact, that is a stop and go 30 for Janssen. That is a race ruined. I said,
oh no!
Be careful here on Monza. Oh, that is an absolute disaster. That is P4 going in class. Oh, such a shame.
Yeah, he already copped a 15-second total time penalty for incidents earlier.
Oh,
but
that's tough.
yeah, this really this harms him a lot more, because that effectively means we said you lose a lot of time due to the pit lane delta. You are going very slowly. What's the speed limit in the pits?
It is 60 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, you're going 60 kilometers an hour, and everybody else is going at least 4 times the speed.
60, exactly.
Yeah. Everybody else is doing 4 times the speed on the straight. You are losing so much time. Every second that you're in there, you're basically losing a second.
Oh, that is horrific. That is just sad to see. But you go just a little bit over that speed limit, and it costs you dearly here. That's such a shame for this BMW, which is going to be very quick here on Monza.
Absolutely. Yes, we do see James Pippy very close behind Dan Kingswell. I think the pit stops may not have been too kind on Kingswell. Lost a little bit of time to Voita, who he was very close behind earlier, and lost a position to Deck, in fact. Who is now ahead of him.
That is... Oh, we'll see. The V12 is incredibly good on acceleration, and Audi is super quick in the straight. Can the V12 actually get the draft? I think Audi's just pulling away.
Now it is, but the top end speed of the V12 is nothing to sneeze at. Let's see if it's enough, though. But I think the exit of the Audi may have been so much better. There's just no opportunity here for the V12 to pull alongside.
That is a mistake. Can Speedy get him now in the acceleration? No, Audi has a better exit here. Such a tough corner. Ooh. It's so tough fighting against these Audis and the old BMWs. Has incredible speed on the straight. Oh, that has to be too far. I wouldn't go for that move. I think Speedy's going to think better of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, but there's a little bit of a mistake. James doesn't need a second invitation. There we go.
No, he does not. That is a position gain, and Kingsville loses a position which he fought so hard to defend, and I didn't really see him losing that position, but simple mistake, and it cost him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's putting on the pressure, and this matters because there's no pit stops to bail you out now. It's 37 minutes of straight up driving, trying to be as fast as you can, and you've lost a position. So fortunate.
Ooh, that's gonna be rough. The Saudi, still, if it can get to the back of the V12, it can make that overtake, but... Oh, with the low downforce, it's so hard to follow through Parabolica with that Audi. So we shall see. This could be a very, very good fight till the end of the race.
Yeah, but the gap is currently substantial, 1.4 seconds between them, so it's not going to happen immediately. That could be costly. You see Michael Pavier very close behind Zach Summerhill. Giving the pressure. Oh, Zach!
Oh.
Zach doing a little bit of a cut there, but that's not even faster. That's just slower. So Michael pulling alongside as a result.
Zach
See from the helicopter.
Flying around that curve.
Yeah, not exactly the racing line, and lost a bit of time there. Michael pulling ahead through Parabolica. Zach not really carrying the speed. Has to hard-handedly get himself through that corner. I think Michael might have this into turn one.
I think he does. I think that Ferrari's quick, and unless Michael's running too much wing. Oh, I don't see him pulling away. I think he's running a bit too much wing. That McLaren wasn't that quick on the straight. Oh, that's a tough move on the outside.
Oh, but I think Zach completely missed his braking point there. He's gonna go through that little chicane there, makeshift chicane, but has to concede the position because that's not how you're allowed to defend it. So Michael Vavier then overtaking Zach Summerhill for P20.
That is a position gained. Well done, Michael. Is Zach going to try to fight this one back? Zach had some pace, but I don't know. He's been making mistakes. He's been flying over those curbs the wrong way around. So, gotta be tough, but gotta stay on the road.
It's entirely possible that Zach is not happy with how the tires behave in these conditions. And yeah, that could be very, very tough for him to keep it on the road as a result.
Let's be fair, when is Zach happy?
Now that is rude. Do you see Bob now? Oh no, having glitches again. We'll ignore Bob now when he causes a yellow flag. He does glitch.
Yeah, he's flying a bit. He's still on track as in on his own screen and not impeding other cars. Oh, that's a slide from Zach. Is that a P1 that's right behind him? Yeah, I thought that was the other BMW, but no, that's P1 and Zach.
Yeah, it's not for position. I do see Opletal challenging Joris behind them, but nothing to come of that for now.
Oh, that's another duel of the two cars that is very similar speed. I believe the BMW was even slower than the Porsche in the straight, at least when I was doing the speed test. So it's gonna be all about the strip stream, and we'll see if Opletal can get close enough to yours.
Yeah, for sure.
And Niels is in pits taking that stop and go penalty. That is gonna hurt. That is probably gonna drop him. Probably not until the end of the class, but definitely out of contention for a good finish there.
That's going to be awful. That's why you practice pit entry in well, every track, but especially at Monza. And Michael Vavier actually suffers a drive-through penalty for track limits.
Oh, that is rough. We were just praising him, and that's a harsh drive-through penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit weird, of course, where you see the car ahead of you cut a corner like that, and then you yourself just extend a little bit too much once too often. You get 3 warnings, and then you cop a penalty. Yeah, that's a lot of time lost, unfortunately.
It's not often that you see a drive-through penalty here on Monza, but exit of Ascari is one of those places where you can definitely get it. Ooh, is that gonna be a dive? No, it's not gonna be a dive, but that Lambo is very, very quick here and very quick on the straight. But the Porsche has good legs on the acceleration through the corner. We'll see if the Lambo can catch up until the turn 1.
Unfortunately, for Daniel, Sammy has an excellent exit there, and well, the Porsche is slow in a straight line. As you can see, it just suddenly reappears on screen, but it's not enough to make a move. And you just keep going. And we see Gats in chat, which can only mean one thing.
Oh,
no longer on track.
that is
Gats,
heartbreaking.
inform us what happened. We've lost 9 cars so far. It's a bit of an attritional race today. I guess as it is the first round of the championship, people maybe not quite ready to take on a whole race today. But
Oh,
me with so many
not ready
cars.
to take on the whole car today was my
Ooh, as
guess.
you see
Ooh,
Sammy making
there
a
you
bit
go.
of a mistake. Too much curb.
That's not
Daniel
a
pulls alongside.
Can he go on the outside? I don't think so. No, there's no way there.
No. Good defending there. Very good instinct to immediately start defending the inside there. Keep the car on the road. Keep it stable. And as a result, that is an effectively parried attack.
Well done. And now we see again the straight line speed of that Lambo. Can he catch up? Probably not until the Ascari, but through Parabolica, we'll definitely see a fight on the main straight. That Lambo is lightning quick. Oh, look at that. Look how close he gets through Ascari. That is so much grip in that Lambo. Could he do it right here? Could he do it into Parabolica? It might be the case.
Yeah, Daniel having a really good exit there. And with the overspeed, surely this time, maybe, on the inside. But the Porsche covers it off so nicely. Ooh, Sammy really strong defensively.
That was the last second move there to cover the inside. That was a little bit risky, but it worked out. Is the Lambo close enough right now? I think he has just a little bit of slipstream. That might be a dive into turn 1 if Sammy doesn't defend.
That's a lot of speed that Lambo has that the Porsche hasn't. So it's going to be really close here. But later on the brakes, generally, is the Porsche. Lamborghini not close enough to make a move there.
Better exit from the Lambo.
Better exit indeed. Porsche a little bit slow through that second corner. But maybe a bit conservative on the power there, Lamborghini. But this is also effectively a long straight. It's a long turn, but it's essentially a long straight. Lamborghini looking on the inside then. Maybe going for a late lunge, but second chicane. Generally not the place you want to do it. So we continue.
Porsche is defending with the exits and through this second sector where it's good at. Ooh, that's a big mistake, but Lambo nearly taking out the Porsche, not seeing the braking point into that corner. But Nightgus is just piling, Daniel is just piling the pressure on.
Ooh, and I think that might be enough pressure there. This is a very good run for Lesmos too. Maybe not quite the exit he wanted, but he does have a lot more power there. A lot more ability to pull alongside maybe before Ascari. And if that's going to happen, yeah, that's fully alongside and past, overtaking Sammy on the entry of Ascari. Very well done by Daniel and moves him up to P9.
Lovely, lovely, lovely move there.
Also for second place in the class, provisionally of course. Eros is currently set in P3 overall. We'll have a look at him again, but yeah, good race so far from these two, and very nice to see.
Are they teamed up?
Sorry?
Are they teamed up? Is that a team of Lambos?
Let's have a look. This is what this Lambo looks like, and Barnabas looks about the same. Yeah, I think I've seen them.
They are indeed.
I've seen them team up before, I believe, as well. So they are indeed a team, and both silver drivers doing a brilliant job so far.
That is a bit above silver pace, I'd say so, but definitely a brilliant job. But
yeah,
this car is very strong here, and they have as well Kalami to look forward to next time round, right?
Is that next time? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's Kalami, and then we move on to Imola, or I have them backwards.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Well, somebody needs to check while I keep rambling on about the Lambo, which is also extremely quick at Kailami. So they will really be looking forward to that track. That is probably the two tracks that Lambo is quickest on, both Monza and Kailami. So it will be very, very spicy in this season.
Yeah, I've had a look. Kailami is indeed the next track, and after that is Imola.
This is going to be very, very strong performance by these two. At least we're expecting strong performance by these two Lambos. And Daniel's already gapping Sammy. I don't think Sammy has the pace for this. Daniel is going for P8 for Breda, and judging by his pace, it's not going to be a difficult overtake.
Absolutely not. Yannick looks like he's P8 currently as an AM driver.
Oh yes, full credit to Yannick. He still has a good enough gap. Oh, that is 20 seconds. Huh? Is it 20 seconds?
He's got 13 seconds behind him.
30 seconds. Okay.
13.
30 seconds and 28 minutes.
Yeah, no,
Daniel has to hurry up.
yeah. Daniel has to definitely press the pedal a little bit harder. It's about a second a lap that he has to make up, and while Yannick's lap times haven't been setting the world on fire, and I think he can definitely do it. It's not that easy, and this is definitely one of those races when there's so many cars on track and so many places to make mistakes. Not making the mistakes, being as consistent as possible and as consistent as Yannick has been, can definitely move you up a lot higher than you're supposed to be. It's the number 42 car. It has a bit of an excursion, I believe. And we see Pietrota next to the track between the two Lesmos, making a mistake on the first one. Very unfortunate.
Indeed unfortunate, but safe rejoin didn't take anybody out. As is that Yannick approaching? Yes, it is. What happened to Spears, by the way? Spears is nowhere near to P1. We thought he would be fighting for P1, but I think he's P4.
It's currently in P4, 22 seconds behind the lead. Before pit stops, he was about 30 seconds behind before Norbert stopped. So he's definitely gained a little bit there, but there's still 22 seconds to go. And that's a lot of time, and I'm not sure if he's going to make that up. Definitely not to Norbert. But we've still got Mr. Eros and Mr. Fimbres Casas in between. Those two might be good targets for him.
Oh, I think Tamas is way too quick to fly in Hungarian. I think he might have this race in the bag, provided no mistakes happen. But Harry Spears is not going to give up the chase. Definitely P2 here on the line. P1 might be a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, mistakes are not out of the question. We've seen it so many times here on the BSKIT channel.
Oh, yes.
In our short run already, we have had so many races just go to swear word like in the last few minutes, and it can happen here too. Even if it's only a sprint race, even if you're not as exhausted as in an endurance race, it can still happen.
It is just 1 millimeter away. I mean, I was 1 millimeter away of taking this Saskari turn right and catching the car, and it didn't happen. So it can happen to anybody. Not that I'm very representative here, but you never know.
Absolutely.
Oh, is this a possible move?
Well, he's got a good exit, but Lambo.
So quick. If
Lambo
anybody can
is so
stick it
quick.
around the outside, it's
Ooh.
Steers. Oh.
Maybe a bit ambitious there, so it doesn't quite get the move done. But he does still carry a lot of speed through this corner. And he's definitely gonna be there for turn 1.
It's a very interesting defensive line going off the track by the Lamborghini. Does Spears have the pace? Does he have the overtake here? He has to stick it around the outside, and then on the inside for the second corner. Lambo's not gonna make it easy.
Ooh.
Oh.
Lambo's just a little bit too wide, it seems. There's a little bit of contact, just a bit of rubbing. Nothing wrong with that. And
who has the acceleration? Who has the acceleration right now? Looks like the Lambo with the inside line, but they're fairly closely matched. Lambo smartly defends the inside. Spears goes for the outside. Is he gonna go for it? He is, but I think he's gonna just get shoved wide. Exactly. Oh, close, but not close enough.
yeah, Barnabas putting up an excellent defense here. It's I mean, it's one thing to win the silver class, but it's even better to say you finished ahead of Frubo. So I think that's definitely going to be the goal here for him. And if he can hold on for another 25 minutes, then that is gold medal worthy. Definitely.
Ooh, 25 minutes with Harry Spears behind you. That is something to put on CV if that happens. Harry Spears is one of the quickest drivers in ACC in general, and holding him back for even like a lap or two is a huge achievement. Oh, that's wide by the Lambo. That might be a warning. I'm not sure. Is Spears gonna try the outside again? He's close.
Absolutely. Looks around the outside and have a good look at a helicam there where we can really see what happens. This time a lot more stable for Frubo. A little bit of a scruffy exit there for Barnabas, but keeps it quite well. Defends the inside there. Goes on the inside of the little bollard.
I'm not sure that's a legal move. I think Dan might need to look at that. That was...
Yeah, that's I don't think that's legal in real life. You'll definitely have people look at that. People will be on the radio for that one, but Harry pulls alongside again. They're at the outside for turn 1. The
Oh,
bit of
can he take it
contact there
stick?
on the inside. He makes his sticks this time. He's alongside still. Ooh, there's a little bit more contact. Harry is slightly faster though, but they are alongside. And Harry is on the outside for Curva Grande. That can make the difference here.
Who's got
But
the
he
speed?
is
Who's got the speed?
alongside still. Barnabas is not letting this go. He's going to stick around the outside. Let's see who's the later breaker. Barnabas for
Getting it on
now.
the outside.
When he sticks it around the outside. Frubo maybe
Oh,
looking at a switchback. Oh, but he takes
that's
Barnabas out instead.
oh.
Oh, and that's a lot of damage. That is so
That,
much damage for Barnabas Eros.
now that is a lot of damage on that. Oh, that's a race ruined by Barnabas Eros. Oh, was that a mistake by Spears?
I think we just ban him, just to be safe.
Yeah, I think so too. It's safer for us. I think it's gonna be a little bit more exciting, and the race is unpredictable. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's a ban
absolutely.
of all offense.
Gonna have to try harder for the championship then. Yeah,
I was
I
going
don't
for a
think.
quali ban, but that doesn't really make sense.
I, of course, Dan will have a look at that, and Dan will make his judgment, and we will of course accept the judgment from one viewing, from one perspective. Of course, you cannot judge these incidents. I think Dan will have a good look at what both drivers did to prevent it, and give it a fair judgment. As we see, Sammy Cow having picked up a 10-second time penalty, manually applied by the race steward.
Oh, that is also a pretty bad penalty. That's gonna put him way down the order because 10 seconds covering the next 5 silver cars.
Yeah, that's very costly for the championship because those silver cars are so close together. There's a really big pack where every position is points.
Indeed. That is. Eros is now in pit. Oh, that is massive for the. Eros is a silver driver. I completely forgot.
Yes, absolutely. Silver drivers. There's going to be among the silver pack in a moment, having to repair the damage.
No.
And they might actually be in the back of that pack. Because what we're looking at here is the pack. And they are already very close to the pit entry. And Vojta is about to take the lead. He has, in fact, now taken the lead of Silver Class.
Yes, that Honda NXX is now leading Silver Class. Well done, Vojta. Through no fault of his own, Eros just had that contact with the Spears. Well,
James on the outside. Ooh, what a brilliant move by James then. Makes it stick for turn 1, and turn 2 is the inside. And Daniel forced a little bit wide there because of his line and has to concede the position. James Spivey then moves up to P10 into the top 10. Brilliant to see.
Last move by Spivey. That was on a Lambo with the speed advantage. I haven't seen that. I wasn't paying attention. But that is a fantastic move by Spivey. Well done.
Yeah. Do you know what? Where? Ooh, as he misses the second chicane. Oops. But he's all right. No drive-through yet. Nope, that's all good then. And let's have a quick look at Eros then, because after that a bit of a contact, he's currently moved back up down to P17. His car is whole again. He can drive it at the pace that he can push it at. But he's moved all the way back into Silver Class into position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th position in Silver. That is a massive loss for the championship.
It's a massive loss by that team. And remember, these are the two Lambos that are running. What was the other Lambo running? Oh, they're running in contention for the pro class. No, silver class. They're both silver. That was such a massive result by them that just got. Oh, well, we'll see what Dan thinks about that one. But what I wanted to point out was all that defense really necessary?
I can't tell. I don't know. I have only seen it from a helicopter.
I mean, not as in that particular defensive move, but that was Eros as a silver driver defending against the pro driver. That's 5 seconds. Oh, that might be more penalty for Spears. Let's see. I think Dan is applying the penalty, and Spears is definitely on the receiving end here.
Yeah, Harry Spears having a 5-second time penalty for that collision, deemed at fault, but 5 seconds doesn't tend to mean that, oh, it's a small incident, so I'll give it 5 seconds. It was definitely not a small incident, but he was only minorly more to blame for that. While he definitely made the
Oh,
mistake
ow.
there, more that Barnabas could have done to prevent that from happening. Oh, actually, there's more being applied there. Now it's got 10 seconds, so
Oh, it is
maybe I'm
10
talking
seconds. Okay.
out of my behind.
But still, it is. Oh, I really don't think that defense in general was that smart. After 2 laps of holding behind Spears, who is a much quicker driver and not the same class, I mean, Eras could have just, let it go.
Well,
As the
hindsight
song
is
says.
2020, but simultaneously, if you are
Oh,
running in P3, you can expect
that
to
is
be
true.
bumped up to Pro Class.
That is true.
So I think that was what he was thinking, and I think that's what we're gonna have to look at anyway as organizers. Like, is he in the right class? We have to evaluate sometimes just after every race. We'll do the same with Josef. I think for Yannick is actually right. He's just having a brilliant, clean race without any incidents whatsoever, and that can definitely push you up into the higher positions.
Oh,
Because
definitely. We'll see.
keep in mind that Yannick's fastest lap is only a 148.6, and he's not been matching that at all. He's bleeding time to the cars behind, for sure. But he's just not
Who does he
making any
have behind?
mistakes.
He has Trevor behind, who is 15 seconds or so behind. By the looks of
Oh,
it,
as Pavel, I think, made a bit of a mistake. Only P21 for Pavel. I think he will be really disappointed
oh,
with that.
I had a little bit of contribution to that, so he will be disappointed as I'm disappointed. But
He will be disappointed in you, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, I think so. I just tried gifting some subs, but he does not have the sub option on his stream. So unfortunately, I have to do with the verbal
You
apology.
can gift him a biscuit sub, of course. Better
I
sub.
could gift him a biscuit sub.
Of course, big thanks for Gats for resubbing as well. He's managed it for 3 months with his Prime subscription. And if you are listening, as Balance is very close indeed to Kingswell, looking on the inside. It's like, if you are watching, then and if you are enjoying this, we're doing this about every 2 weeks, the BCSS races, and we've got an endurance race coming up next week. I will not be broadcasting that. I will be racing that. If you want to watch those, you don't want to miss anything, feel free to give us a follow, and I would greatly appreciate that.
That is indeed true. There's a big endurance race coming. Oh, is that Dave in the chat?
That's
Oh, is
indeed
Dave
Dave
out
in
of the
chat.
race as well? I saw that Dave had a very unfortunate start and was pretty far behind. Does that mean he's out of the race?
I think it does, unless... do I see anyone in the pits? I don't see anyone in the pits, so I think he's just out of the race.
Well, it would be very hard to type at the same time as drive, so unfortunate, Dave.
Unless Dave reveals to us that he's a man of many skills.
Ah, he had more important things in life, such as pasta. I understand that fully.
It is very fitting with Monza, of course. Do you see Niels Johnson challenging Piazzetta then for P25? They are not in the same class. Niels is actually a class down. Yeah, fighting for it anyway. Actually, I think Piazzetta may have overtaken or may have re-overtaken. Sometimes race control do be like that a little bit. I will say Niels Johnson is marginally better. As Fraser Dick has a massive crash on the exit of Ascari. Ooh, that was a bit of a spin as well there. So that must have been a big hit. And so late into the race, those are positions you will never gain back.
I was just about to say that he was doing a good job with the less than ideal setup that he has taken without even knowing that. And unfortunate, very, very unfortunate there about that crash. That I think that might warrant a repair. But is that even worth it with 30? I think so. I think if there was a crash, that car is done for, I think.
Yeah, okay, that car is gone. As he really solidifies why the name is as it is, incident-prone racing. But yeah, he's gonna suffer there, try to go to the pits and get things repaired and just finish this race. 13 minutes left. As Balint is trying to attack Kingswell, but has to also deal with somebody trying to overtake him, lap him, I believe that is. I think that might be the leader of the race right there. At number 17 cars, that's indeed
Yep, it
Norbert
is.
leading.
Just a flawless display by Norbert. Not that he was pushed very much. Maybe. Ooh, that Bentley is very, very squirmy on the exit of the Parabolica.
For sure. Quick look at Pavel then. He's very close to Joris now. We would expect this battle to occur, but not in this position. There's a battle for P20. This could very easily also be a battle for P2 in another race. But due to circumstances, including the large grid, they have fallen back a lot. And of course, one of the circumstances also being in the commentary box with us.
Pretty much.
But Pavel is very, very close behind in that slipstream, in that BMW, and that Porsche ahead of him. Pavel knows as no other that the Porsche is not great in a straight line. He has suffered from it many times, and today he will be benefiting from it around the outside then. But can he make it stick? There's a car ahead of him, which limits how far he can go. Zach there hampering Pavel a little bit.
It's a three-way fight, Finn. This is a three-way fight.
That is a three-way fight in the full position. And due to Zach being there, I think Joris is able to hold on for now, but Pavel is still there. He's gonna look around the outside. Actually, have a look from above.
Taking a good line, but Zach makes a mistake. Compromises Pavel. Oh, this is brilliant stuff.
I cannot tell you how they survived that.
Another mistake by Zach.
Zach very squirmy there. Joris trying to get past, and Pavel trying to benefit from it all. That's what we're seeing
really
here.
Backing him up.
Yeah, and you know, want to know something fun? I think there's like a bunch of gaps. There was a little while where there were like 2 gaps under a second, and now suddenly we've got everywhere across the track. We've got Barnabas Eros here trying to retake whatever he can.
Little slide from the Lambo there, but I think Lambo's gonna have the straight line speed over the McLaren right here.
Yeah, he should have, and of course there is a little bit of slipstream there to benefit from. Bobna will maybe try to counteract this. Could have a shot.
He's closing. Oh, I think he went out of the slipstream too early, but he might try to think better of it and just settle the 4th position. Again, this is not for... Is this for class? It is for class.
This is for class. This is for class. But Barnabas is much faster.
Defended a bit more. Or attacked a bit more there. Oh, here we go
Definitely
again.
possible. Pavel now again in the slipstream. Much faster on the straight. Looks on the inside this time. Will try to outbrake the Porsche, but that is never easily done.
Where's Zach?
But there, oh, Zach blocking Joris. And then on the outside goes Pavel. I think this time he will have enough of an advantage. And Zach being a deciding factor in these battles, just being there. Not doing anything wrong, mind you. He's just existing, doing his race, and them two behind that kind of have to exist with that.
Oh, Joris going on the outside, Pavel on the inside, but again, Zach is gonna block Joris here, unless something. Ooh, is that a?
Oh, but there's contact.
That's near a spin. That was nearly a repeat of what I did, but well, Joris is a better driver than me, so we keep it clean for the most part.
You don't have to do yourself that dirty, man. It's yeah, very very nice catch from Pavel there, keeping the car as stable as possible and continuing to drive very respectful from Joris also to just not run away with it, because I think he could have, but decided against it. So we've got Deck catching up to Sammy here, slowly but surely.
This is another unfair battle if we come to straight line speed, but Sammy has those 10 seconds penalty. We didn't see for what exactly, but I don't think Sammy's gonna really fight this one. Deck going for his signature
Wait,
dive.
I do want to have a quick look, because these two are at it again, and of course Sammy does have a 10-second time penalty, so effectively the battle is done, but this one is not. Pavel around the outside at Parabolica sticks it there. Zach defending the position for now. Very well done from him, but I think Pavel will have the better position here on the outside. Maybe it's not a better position. This is not where you want to be, because he doesn't have the overspeed.
I don't think that BMW is going to have the speed. I think the McLaren's just about matching it. But I don't think this is going to be a move for Pavel. Oh,
but he has
seen. He goes very deep and takes the apex here. Can he do it?
He has indeed seen that Zach is early on the brakes into turn 1. And he's benefiting from it massively, cleanly around the outside of that first turn. And taking that position. That's Pavel Demia, currently in P19.
What a Pavel-esque move right there.
for sure, and definitely something he will be happy about.
Oh, that's deep by Zach. That is deep by Zach.
It's too deep by Zach. And
He's
that
gonna
means losing
get
that
in between the
position.
two cars. I think he's gonna just about get in front of Joris, who's not gonna be happy about that one losing time behind Pavel.
Yeah, for sure, but Zach did give back the position, lost a little bit of time as well, for good measure. And Joris is now going to be all over him.
Oh, this is again a very evenly matched battle between cars who do not have that much straight line speed, but a lot of corner speed and a lot of aero. Let's see what Joris can do through here. I think, oh, that is a very conservative line. Zach gained a lot of time through there. And that is a very wide line as well. That's going to be a warning for Joris.
Yes, it's definitely invalidated. It's a bit weird. It almost looks like Joris may be struggling with a little bit of damage to the car, which makes it a little bit slower through the corners. What it looks like.
Could be. Porsche changes so much over the course of the race, especially through that corner for Ascari, where you need the ultimate grip. And to quickly switch weight around, the Porsche can be a little bit sketchy through there. If you hit it just like a little bit the wrong way, it can bite back. Oh, I think
For now,
Joris
then
is closing in.
Zach is holding on, but Joris tends to be later on the brakes. They're really close, but not enough.
Is that a BMW that's positioned behind them? I think it is the 777 BMW. Oh, no, that is
No.
not. It is the 21 BMW. My apologies. So this is just a clean battle between Zach and Joris. Zach going defensive. Joris doesn't have really the angle here, but just gets so close to that McLaren. He's gonna need a quick acceleration of one of the corners. Or maybe a mistake by Zach. We've seen quite a few of them, but there's 6 minutes left. I think Zach has to hold this. Zach has the car, has the speed. Just if he keeps it clean, I think he might just have this.
Yeah, for sure. Zach has been a bit scruffy, making a couple of mistakes, but keeping the pace up enough that I can hold on to this position. It's fair game as James Spivey, I think, starts to overtake Trev here. Looking around the outside, but not quite making it happen. So this is definitely also a battle to watch.
Very deep by the BMW. Can the Aston Martin out accelerate it through here? Oh, I think he might. If he can stick it around the outside and just send it in the second chicane, it might be the move. Oh, the lovely sound of that engine. I can never get enough of that car. Yep, Speed is going for the outside here, inside into the next corner. Is he going to break deep? Yes, he is. I think
Very deep.
No, that is very brave. Too brave as Spibi goes wide and loses the position.
Yes, indeed. Gaining it for a second or two, but immediately having to concede it. Overcooking the corner a little bit, and it's so easily done, especially if you desperately just want to get by and go on with your race. And these mistakes are so easily made.
That is something that also caught my eye. Spears appears to have 5-second penalty and not 10.
Well, may have had a... I'm saying, yeah, it appears to be the case. He definitely hasn't stopped in between to serve it, and has gotten another one. I think just was revisioned maybe, or maybe the penalty was applied twice.
That is very impressive attempt if he managed to actually appeal the penalty while driving. That would be very impressive. But I guess Dan thought the other way and decided on 5 seconds as Speedy goes around the outside on Parabolica. Keeps it nice and tight. That car might out-accelerate the BMW. Can the BMW stay in the slipstream and get behind the Aston Martin? I don't think so. I think this is the move for Spippy. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant move there around the outside, and yeah, I think you will have it. Maybe the surprised me how fast that the BMW is, but excellent move by James, and I think it's enough to keep it, as we see someone breaking in, gaining a lot of time, but I don't think that's for position. Nothing to worry about for either of those. Look at Joris behind Zach then. Zach has lost about 3.4 seconds to Pavel since Pavel overtook.
Joris is still struggling to overtake that McLaren. Oh, he needs to be very close. That is not close enough. And is not close enough for the Porsche despite the very good brakes. Well, that was not a great exit by Zach going out on the curbs. I think Zach might be forced to defend here, actually. Oh, Zach weaving across the straight, trying to break that slipstream, but now it's on the inside. If Joris goes for this dive, this might just work out. Yes, he
Ooh, and
goes for
he
it.
looks
He's
at
going
it,
for
and he
it.
goes for it, and he's alongside. He does have to be left of space, but Zach turns in on him. Maybe. And
Ooh, again.
he survives for now.
He
We have
does.
I think we have got the leader of the race behind them. No, that is not. Norbert Thomas is actually still dominantly leading this race. But they are being bothered by someone else. We do have Barnabas Eros here looking around the outside into Ascari. It's actually over before it starts. That is Eros overtaking Gabe for P14. Things still going on left and right. Meanwhile, Charlie Kent, let's have a look at him. He's currently P4 after overtaking Josef Krakbelios for for overall track position, even though Josef is apparently an AM driver.
But we do have a big fight developing actually for P3, believe it or not. Even though Harry Spears is through, he does have that 5-second penalty. And there's 2 minutes to go, so there's 2 laps at maximum.
2 laps at maximum to pull a 3-second gap, or like 5-second gap. He's got 3 seconds. And we do see that Joris has overtaken Zach while we weren't looking. Everything is happening at the same time. We can't help it. I'm very sorry. And Zach currently being bothered by the 93 car, which is driven by someone.
Is that Charlie Kent?
No, Charlie Kent's 91, I think. Is it the 93? No, it's Charlie Kent. No, it is Charlie Kent, yeah. I'm blind. Confirmed.
But yeah, I am very interested if Diego can keep in those 5 seconds behind Spears, because that could be P3 and podium for Diego with that penalty.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely something to keep an
eye
eye on.
That is not looking pretty.
Josef tried to come back and trying to get through Zach, but with a little bit of banging there. Maybe Zach going a little bit too defensive there because he's not allowed to defend. And I think Josef just telling him what he thinks of him.
Is that a fight between Charlie Kent? Yeah, it is. It's a fight between Charlie Kent and Josef right there, and
but there's a car
Zach
between.
Zach is making them giving them no favors, but he doesn't have to. There's blue flag rules don't mean that you have to get out of the way. Just drive your own race.
You don't have to go out of the you don't have to go out of the way, but you're not allowed to defend. And if Dan does deem that there was a defense from Zach, then that would be a slam dunk time penalty.
That is the final lap of the race, indeed. Norbert Tamas has just crossed the finish line for the second to last time. He has just 1 more lap to go. I think Diego is 3.4 seconds. Can he keep in those crucial 5 seconds as we have a battle here between Eros, and that is Dan Kingswell. That Lambo is so quick. Kingswell defending the inside. Can the Lambo stick it around the outside? No, maybe they'll get a better exit. No, unfortunately not. That's gonna... Is that gonna be it? Yes.
We do see 2 cars off track. I think it's Pavel Lopatal and Kauner, fortunately going off track a little bit, losing a little bit of time in a couple of positions. Positions not getting back at all, because it's nearly the last lap of the race for them. They still have one extra to go after that. But regardless...
That is deep. That is very deep, buddy.
Very deep. And Barnabas catching up immediately, very close, but not quite past. We've got a Lesmo, so it's very hard to stage overtake there if you're not already alongside him, able to force your opponents into in a mistake. But maybe a better exit out of the second one. That's your best hope.
There's the chance. This is it. This has to be the chance. The out is very quick on the straight, but so is the Lambo. They have the same engines. They have the same aerodynamic profile. Can the Lambo do it around the outside of Ascari? That it's gonna be very, very tough. That reminds me of a move that happened here at the season ago. Can he do it? He's doing it, but he's gonna go over the curb. Can he keep it?
Oh,
yes,
that is...
Oh,
a brilliant move.
Oh, there's a car spinning on the left.
That is Piachotta.
Yes, it is.
It's Piachotta making a bit of a mistake, and Oplatal also made a mistake at the end. But our race leader is crossing the line. We see a couple of people pull alongside just not to have a finish another lap, and Norbert Tamas wins the first race of BCSS Season 3 in dominant fashion.
Well done. Well deserved by Norbert. Fantastic drive, making no mistakes. Oh, this is the fight for P2.
Well, it's just Diego. Fight for P2 indeed. He is 3.3 seconds behind, according to the timing there. So he will inherit P2 from Harry Spears after the end of the race.
I'm sorry, Finn. Weren't we missing somebody in P2?
Were we?
Am I mistaken?
What were you thinking of?
I was thinking that the Diego and Harry Spears was a fight for P3.
No, I will not make a
rewind and have
statement on
look.
that.
Maybe
I do
this
not
is...
see any pro
But in
drivers
any
nearby.
case-
That could have been, yeah. But in any case,
any
Norbert
case.
Hammers, congratulations for winning the class. We've also got Josep Carabellos, currently as an AM driver. We'll see about that. Winning his class with Yannick Breda, a very, very nice drive. I think that for me, this is driver of the day. Just having a very, very clean drive. Currently still driving, in fact. Technically could lose his second place in AM, but he's in the last corner. He's going to take this home. P7 overall, second in the class, and for me, driver of the day, Yannick Breda. Excellent job today.
Fantastic. Well done, Yannick. Well deserved.
Got a
And
win.
no, you were indeed correct. That was a fight for P2.
We got a winner of silver class then, Wojtek Pavlicek, taking it home for silver class. Excellent job from him. And as you can see, race control, they're very busy, giving everyone penalties. And yeah.
That would be the end of the race. Race 1 of Season 3 of BCSS, won by Norbert Tamas in Pro Class. It is Josef Karabelos in the AM Class, finishing ahead of Wojtek Pavlicek in Silver Class. And those are the 3 winners. And we'll be hopefully getting the interviews very soon.
Yeah, what a wonderful and exciting race, almost all the way through. A little bit of lull in the middle, and I welcome that. Because I'm tired. You gotta understand. That was a lot of work from the start, but that was a brilliant race, I think, from start to finish. That was just brilliant to see, and thanks to all the drivers for keeping it so clean, keeping it so respectful with each other. And yeah, congratulations to Norbert. Would like an interview with Norbert if we can, Josef and Vojta, and maybe also Yannick as my pick for driver of the day for having such a brilliant race. Not expected, but so clean and clinical it seems, and I think brilliant result. Yeah,
that is a fantastic start to the championship. P2, P7 overall on Monza in a Porsche. Well done. Hats off. Definitely my driver of the day. I agree there with you.
Do you know what Tamas is called on Discord?
I have absolutely no clue, but I shall find him and tag him somewhere.
Yes.
I would like to pull somebody who is already in the channel, but none of these people finished high enough, so unfortunately we'll have to wait a little bit to find Norbert Tamas or anybody really from class winners, or in this case Yannick Breda as well, who we'll definitely want to talk to. Let us see. But yeah, fantastic race. Great opener for race 1. This is the longest season so far. 9 races or 10 races if I am correct. So there will be a lot of driving, a lot of good fights. Hopefully less of me in the commentary booth and more of me on the track. But overall, a lovely start. Monza as always, and we are moving next week. In 2 weeks' time, we are moving on to Kyalami, which is a fantastic track, another great track for Audis and Lamborghinis. Not a great track for the Mercedes, if I understand correctly. They're a little bit sluggish there, so it is going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But that concludes the race then, and it is very exciting and a good sign of what's to come as well later in the season, because this is just gonna get better and better, I think.
Oh, I really hope so. The driving style here was pretty good, pretty clean, apart from a couple of iffy moves, but definitely a well-done race, a well-managed race as well by Stuart Dan, who was pretty busy at the start, but I think pretty fair. Props to him. And yeah, we still haven't had any of the drivers show up. Nobody's looking at the stream, which I found very, very sad. If you do not show up in the next 5 minutes, we will demote you to positions. So
Oh,
you know,
actually, we
just
have someone.
oh, we
Uh,
do.
I'll try to pull him in, but the Discord is not brilliant. Your list is too long. We've got too many
Is
channels.
that Vojta Pavlicek? I shall pull him. You go.
Yes, here we have the winner of silver class with us, Vojta Pavlicek. Hello. How was your race?
Hello. Well, it's been up and down.
Been up and down. So
Literally.
Yeah.
from the start, you went into turn one with 40 cars, some ahead and some behind. How was that for you?
It was pretty good. I think there wasn't even a touch, which I was impressed pretty much. But yeah, then I had to one contact with someone, and I don't know if it was on me or not. But I dropped to P30, so I had a lot of catching to do in the first stint.
I did see you pointing the wrong way out of Lesmo too, and I was very sad
Yep.
to see. But that was a great race in the end, winning the silver class. Fantastic comeback. How did the car feel? How did the NSX feel on this track?
Oh, Honda is definitely very good on the track. I think it might be my best track for the season anyway, because I will definitely die on Spa because it's terrible on Spa. So, but it felt very good on Monza. It's very fast in the straight line, maybe the same speed as the Merc or pretty similar. So it was easy for me to go around others on the straight.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
and it paid off. You've clawed your way all the way back up to the lead of the class, and of course you had a bit of an assistance there from Harry Spears through well. Unfortunately, he took arrows out of the contention there. A little bit of luck maybe, but still very nice race from you and deserved P1.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a very good start for me, and we will see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for joining us, and see if you can keep that up and maybe claim a very nice victory in the silver class later on the season. Still a long
Indeed.
one. A lot of
Thank you,
races to go.
Vojta.
Thanks
Hope to
for
see you on the
having me.
track.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Well, that was Vojta Pavlicek, winner of the silver class, and picking up 50 points then for himself and his team. And quickly look at if there are other people who would like to join us. I don't think we have anyone.
I will try to get Tamas to join for the interview, but that is not guaranteed. And I shall try to do the same with Yannick Breda, who had a fantastic race, if I can find them. As I said, from the next race onwards, we will be handing 10-second penalty for those that do not show up for the interview. So
I will just bully them all week or all 2 weeks in BSKIT. In 3 weeks if you do it on the wrong race, because I believe one time we'll have a bigger break in the calendar.
oh yes. And every consecutive interview, every consecutive missed interview is going to be another 10 seconds on, and then 20 seconds and 30 seconds. We will have Yannick Breda join in with us in a minute as soon as he sorts out his microphone setup. He wasn't even aware that he's going to be interviewed, but
No.
with that kind of performance, we just can't miss it.
I will say there was a little bit. That was my own initiative, but look, some drivers they have their expectations. They voiced it to me. It's like, oh, I think I'm doing pretty good. Qualified in AM, and no complaints about that. So they don't see it. I don't think he thinks too highly of his skills, and then showing up in such a packed grid, making no mistakes for 1.5 hours, and coming out with such a brilliant result. That is definitely something worth mentioning, and it's a very good start for his campaign to take home the championship in AM class. Still a long season to go. We've got a total of 8 races that count for points, as of course excluding the last race, which did not. Alton Park was merely a practice event. And
I do have a suggestion for somebody we could interview until Yannick joins with us, but I cannot track him in this room, and that would be Dan, our steward, to give us a little bit of insight on how was working and how many incidents did he have.
I'll give it.
Might have to do the honors.
I'll give him 2 more minutes, Yannick, and otherwise might give Deck a little bit of a moment in the spotlight. Of course, as the organizer, having such a brilliant first event is also something worth mentioning. Oh,
Indeed,
actually, we've got Dan.
That would be Dan in here. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Since we do not have at this moment, we were gonna ask you how was that race incident-wise, since you oversaw the entire race, just like Finn here. So you have your 5 minutes under the spotlight, starting now.
Oh, right. Okay. So, first few laps were actually pretty good. I think it was lap 3. I think we had a major incident. There was a slight bump on lap 1. Believe that was between car 5 and car 75. Just a slight bump. Obviously, we were being a bit more harsh on the first few laps, especially on turn 1. The idea behind it was obviously if someone gets taken out within the first few laps and gets spun out, sent to the back, we would issue a drive-through. Luckily, we didn't have to give any out, which was good. But yeah, throughout the race, there was a couple of 10-second penalties handed out. That was simply due to people getting hit at the first chicane. But yeah, there was a slight incident. I don't know if you've caught it on the stream or not. On the cool down lap.
Oh no!
Yeah, there was 2 cars hitting each other. So I don't know if we're going to look into it, but it does kind of look a bit malicious. So I don't know if we are going to look through the race to see if anything's happened between the 2 of them. So,
well, if somebody has been naughty, that might be even a penalty for the next race or this race. I don't know how you were gonna handle that, but it is up to you. You are the head steward, and I don't think we had many complaints this race. So, well done.
There's been at least one complaint, but I think that was more just heat of the moment thing. We'll have to see what they say once. I believe they've calmed down now, but we'll see what they say.
In any case, thank you very much, Dan, for stewarding as always, and hope to see you next week on track and the week after that in the stewarding booth again, I guess.
Oh, as we've got a is the next endurance race?
Yes.
Yeah. Next week we have an endurance race. Indeed.
Yeah. Still haven't done any practice. Haven't done any practice for any of the races. So yeah, that'll go well.
All right. The 2 drivers are required to get a qualifying ban for the next race that had the incident on the cooldown lap. So.
Ah, right. Okay.
They're both member of my community, and they agreed to a qualifying ban.
Ah, right. Okay. But incident-wise, yeah, it was actually pretty good. Obviously, I'm not going to hand out anything that's just like door banging. There's obviously no need for that and slight taps because I don't want to dissuade people from overtaking. But yeah, it was a good race. Yeah.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for joining us, Dan.
No, it's absolutely fine. If I'm honest, Deck just kind of dropped me in, so I was kind of caught off guard. But no, it's fine, guys. Honestly, thanks for the commentary. I was sat listening, so
anytime.
Nah, cheers, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Yeah, see ya.
Speak to you soon as well, and. Meantime, we have our on my pick, and Philip agreed with me after considerably little bullying. My pick of driver of the day for today. Hello, Yannick. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine right now. It was quite an intense race, and yeah, here I am.
That was a fantastically driven race, like without any mistakes. Just keeping it clean. in a Porsche, which I haven't managed to do, and getting P2 in AM class, and what is that, P7 overall in the race. Well done. That was a fantastic performance by you. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm a bit exhausted. In the end, it got a bit tough, to say the least. Yeah, a bit sweaty, but yeah, I'm fine overall, and yeah, it was a nice race. I got a bit lucky at the start, where everyone, yeah, went abroad or yeah, off-road, and I managed to get through. I had quite a strong first stint. The second one wasn't that great, but yeah, it was good enough. Let's say that.
Good enough is it's definitely showing with such a strong result. It's not just P2 in class, of course, but overall, in a grid of 40 cars, staying patient at the start, making no mistakes, staying out of trouble and coming out on top. It's always wonderful to see, and a very strong result there. So what are your expectations of future races? Do you think you'll repeat this every single race?
I will miss the Imola race, unfortunately. Yeah, you know what I want to say. I can't say the word right now. It's my mother's birthday, and she already told me that I won't be playing any computer games while she has a party.
That is pretty rough, but if you need some convincing, I think Finn and I are here to back you up if you need it.
If you are leader in the championship after the next race, you will have a very strong claim to being able to sim race, and she'll just have to. We'll wish her a happy birthday on stream.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. You will probably be very happy about it. Yeah, I don't know. The next races, I hope I can have a nice race again, nice races again, and yeah, I got a bit lucky today, I guess.
I wouldn't say lucky. I would say that was a fantastic drive, and you completely deserve it. And I hope to see more of that in the next race.
Yeah, thanks.
A common saying in racing is that you don't just get lucky; you also make your own luck, and I think that's definitely what happened today.
Exactly.
Being on the right spot at the right time is one thing, but also being able to benefit from it is an entirely different skill. And if you master it, as you have, then you score a lot of points today. So you walk away with a big bag of points, carry it to the next race, and hopefully at the end of the season, it will put you somewhere near the top. Congratulations on P2 in the class, on I don't know, P7, P6, what was it overall? And yeah, let's hope for a even better race next time if you can manage it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the broadcast and everything. And yeah, have a nice evening.
No worries. And with that, I think we will wrap it up. So thank you, Philip, for joining me midway through the race after crashing out yourself. I always say
Thank you for pointing that out.
I mean,
it's all fine.
I'm just reporting facts here. I always say I can do these races alone. It's fine enough, but after a start like that and 40 cars on the track, it's nice to have someone just to talk, to waffle a little bit, so I can pour a drink and rest my throat. Thank you very much.
I hope it was a bit of help, and I was very excited, and hope to see everybody next weekend on Saturday for the Enduro.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be going to Solder for the finale of the BSKIT the BSKIT and PRC Endurance Cup. 6 hours of Zolder. I will be driving, and Guts will be heading the commentary team. So excited for that, and I hope to see you all then. Don't forget to follow if you haven't already, so you don't miss it.
Indeed. See you, everybody. Good night.